Yo, what's up? Mic check 1 2 1 2. This is Jez7780. What grinds my gears? Here for the Gaming Grindhouse episode 31. PlayStation, silent but deadly. Xbox, boastful yet safe. What's up, everybody? Welcome. Hope everybody had a good weekend. This has been the Grindhouse. Grindhouse is open for business. Come on in, share out the video, hit that like button. My audio's all whacked. My Grindsboard, my soundboard here is acting a little wonky. I might have to unplug it and plug it in during the show, but I gotta get my my sirens going. What happened? Oh snap! So what? Did somebody unplug it? Did I have somebody raid my setup? Damn it! What's up, everybody? Who? The Tools! I saw Tools is here. Tool man. Oh man. The Tools are in the Grindhouse, but man, they are not over in the Xbox camp. I'll tell you that. After I saw some of that Ray Charles ray tracing, holy crap, we're going to talk about that. I'm sure that's going to be wild. That's been wild all over Twitter, the circus that's been going on today. My goodness, Twitter's just been a mess. We need some games.
Man, I haven't seen any of it, so.
Oh, Frogs, what's up, man?
For me.
I know, man. I know. Well, shout out to the unknown Jeff, Logical Nonsense, Buck Roger, Jamal King, Sam Ash. What's up, Zach? Who's this? Zoik? What's up?
Zoinks?
Forgot. I don't know, Zoink? I'm trying to read some of these names. There's some new grinders here. Hit that sub. If you're new here to the Grindhouse, you can get some good-ass content here. What is going on? Zoink 310, nice. Doja, DDP, bang! What's up, DDP? How you doing? That's a good name right there. DDP, like bang. Jersey Shore. Febreze is here, bringing in the freshness. What's going on? Neil, he's all hyped up, ready to go. Impatient Fire's here. Hassan, oh no, don't bring that here, dude. Dude, I am not saying crap about this friggin' abandoned trailer stuff. I downloaded that app. I uninstall that app tomorrow. It's supposed to do some horse crap where it's coming. Hassan, you know what? I'm not talking about you anymore. I just want to see what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell. I'm not even talking. Nick, what's up? How you doing? Ghostface, as they coming in. Phil Ness. Phil Tracing, we're calling it, everybody. Phil Tracing. We got some Phil Tracing. It's found in the donuts. Holy crap. They don't know what ray tracing is going on over there. Let's go.
Time to make the donuts, huh?
Dude, man, you saw those donuts. Phil's bringing them out to Gamescom, he said. He's bringing them out to Gamescom. He's bringing those donuts out there. He's filled with Philness, man. He has to share it with everybody.
Man, somebody, I seen somebody on Twitter said that they didn't taste too good. But you could never trust the internet because people
they're filled with they're filled with fudge, but it's not even. It's Philness. Like it's like a little dot of fudge. It's like you get this donut. You think there's gonna be like 12 teraflops of filling in it. You've been sold this promise of this Xbox donut that's been. They had the guy come out with the beard. He started flexing.
Whatever your name is.
Yo, we got a new subscriber, Andreas Dance. Joined the Grindhouse. Congratulations. Thank you, man, for joining the Grindhouse. Yes, hit that sub button if you're new here. We're getting this. We're almost at 1,000, but thank you. We get to hear Arnold. It works. The sub button works, everybody. But anyway, he's like, whoever your name is, get ready for the big surprise. Here. But anyway, they give you this donut. And they flexing it. They got the guy with the beard coming out there telling you how he put it all together. He put a little bit of that powdered sugar on it. He friggin' flexed. He made the green icing on there. And then you get this donut. You think he tells you there's 12 teraflops of fudge and shit packed in here in this donut. And then you open it up and it's like, oh shit, there's a little nodule of goddamn filling, man. The disappointment.
Because that's Phil Spencer's glory hole.
Oh, shit. We're starting already. We're fucking 10 minutes in here. We're talking about glory holes. Holy shit. It's too early for that. Oh, damn. But, the promise of these donuts.
Phil Spencer said he takes special care with each one of those donuts.
Yo, man. He's in the back filling them up with Philness. He can't fill them up fast enough.
Oh, pause.
Pause.
Oh, no.
Oh, damn. We don't want to be telling. Yo. But yeah, I didn't have those donuts. But man, I thought that maybe instead of filling them up with something that looked like shit, maybe fill them up with maybe, well, I guess you can't make it look white filling either. Jesus.
Oh, man.
Shit.
Pause,
man.
God.
This is fucked up,
it's gonna be bad.
Put my kids to bed, damn it. We didn't even get to the topic list.
Damn.
Shit. Yeah, what color can you... I thought just make it green.
Yeah, you could have just made it like...
They bleed green. The donuts bleed green.
Lemon meringue.
Lemon meringue, exactly. You get to make the donuts bleed green. No, that's all you can do.
Then they got Phil Spencer in the back.
Oh, shit.
With it.
oh, no. Well, in case I don't know if you saw the picture last week, but man, these things been going around. They're called the Nexus donut or something like that. But anyway, it's really,
oh my God.
it's really not a thing. But here it is. This is the donut we're talking about right here. It does say here. And this wasn't even on the topics list, but it does say that it's filled with wheat, egg, milk, and I don't know what this is, but it's called soya. Oh boy, I don't know what the hell soya is. That's the Philness. That's got to be it, because I don't know what.
Yeah, that's definitely the Philness.
Yeah. I don't know what the hell that is, but yeah. So
the show has went left. The show has
went left, and it says right here, level up with this epic gooey brownie batter filled donut.
Man,
pause.
It say gooey. Please don't say it says gooey.
It says it. Level up with this epic gooey brownie. It says it right here, dude. Like this is pause. There's a lot of pauses. Holy shit! People are not gonna get through the first 10 minutes with all these pauses, dude.
I don't even want to eat that. That sounds horrible.
You get a little bit on your face. Aaron Greenberg comes over. He goes, you got a little on the side of your mouth. Here you go. Let me fix that for you, Greenberg. Oh, shit.
Oh, damn. It's make your feeling go to the second floor with our rooftop parties. There's a glory hole for you.
Gotta make the donuts. Anyway, anyway, so anybody tried out these donuts? Frog makes them sound so delicious. Oh, jeez. Dude, this is not good. I can't timestamp this shit. What the hell are we going to call this topic? God damn it. You open up the door, he feels bare ass. He goes, I'm filling up the donuts. Get out of here.
He's in the back room. Time to make the donuts.
Oh, shit. Phil, we need another dozen. I'm giving it all I got.
I get this hill. It just smells like
shit.
Phil have like one of those one of those Super Mario voices when he's doing. Oh God,
that's too much. We got a bunch of people here. They said you can give them games. He goes, I gotta give them donuts. These donuts will make them forget about the games. That's what my Philness does.
Hey, no controllers, no more games, just donuts.
It's donuts.
Whatever your name is.
Yo, we got another sub. What's going on? It's wild. Daryl Mitchell, what's up? Join the Grindhouse. What's up, man? Yeah, I know. He's like, let them take a bite of this donut. It's like just one donut and they forget about all the games. That's it. He goes, yeah, that's what Philness does. It makes you forget about the games. It's consumer-friendly donuts. But thank you for the 2 new subs. Yo, what's up? What's up, Salty? How you doing? I don't know how we got into the donut talk, but yeah. Anyway, this, who knows?
That's
but anyway.
Dude, because Microsoft is focused on a lot more different things than console gaming. They're focused on donuts, refrigerators,
dolls. They got the dolls.
Man, they got all kind of things.
How do you reach 2 billion people? You got to make some fucking donuts. They probably, they probably count every person that buys that one an active member. Who the hell knows what the hell they count? The donuts are Xbox now. Who the hell knows anymore? What the hell? But yeah, anyway, got to make those donuts. And anyway, it's funny because I think it's European here. So, those people really don't give a shit. So I'm sure those donuts are still there right now, stale as hot as rocks.
They're still sitting there.
I don't know. They're still sitting there. They only made 6 of them. Nobody's gonna buy them. They're like, ooh, they turn into rocks after. They got to make a Series S donut. It's like that's the Munchkin. That would be a Munchkin donut.
Oh God! Oh, little Munchkins filled with white, gooey. Never mind. Oh man!
So you'll get the Series S donut. That will be the Munchkin. That one's over there. That's if you can't get the big donut with all the Philness in it, you can get a little dose of Philness in the Munchkin. At least they satisfy those.
It's funny, these Xbox guys, I feel, in a sense, I feel bad for people who primarily play on Xbox and they want some exclusives to play, man, because they're getting everything but that. And it's sad.
You know what, though? I do think that maybe this is lined, maybe this stuff is not powdered sugar, it's cocaine. Maybe that's what this is. Maybe they powdered it up, a little cocaine, you sniff it.
I think the whole Xbox Series, the Series S, is made of cocaine.
Oh shit! That's a speaker. Then what's the name? DJ Khaled told you it's a speaker already.
Yeah, he did say it was a
speaker, man. It needs to be a Bluetooth speaker. But anyway, I don't know how we got on topic of these donuts, but dude, I don't know what happened. Somebody said Philness and donuts, and I had to go back to the photo. But yeah, this is. I can't say it's not that kind of show, but damn, it's that kind of show. So we'll see.
Already.
Yo, what's up, Sick? You, what's up, man? How you doing? Yo, Sick. Yo, is he in the chat? Yo, that dude. Is he in? Yo, he became a mechanic over the weekend, man. He said that he opened up his PlayStation and he got an engineering degree over the weekend. He had to sign up online. And he said when he opened up his PlayStation, his refrigerator stopped working. And I'm like, holy shit, what the hell's going on here, dude? But apparently he had to go buy a tool belt. He had to strap that thing. God. He had to do that. He had to unload. There were screws all over the place.
But he got Sick the Builder.
Yo, he was handy Mandy. He was handy Mandy. He came in with a freaking tool belt. But you know what? The thing is that's at least the tools are on the PlayStation because you can open it up with the tools. They're still waiting for the tools on Xbox. The only tools they got right now, the cap is online. Those are the tools that we got here. Like Dustin and Gary's all those dudes. That's who we got. Man, this guy saying Xbox is gonna win this year. It's like, dude, what happened to the last 7 months? Where were you? You had your head so far up the green ass? Like all of a sudden, like delays of PlayStation is gonna make Xbox win it. Like, what are you talking about? God damn!
I don't get the community of gamers who
whack,
when you say
circus.
When you say you want something better for the other console because you want to see it do better as far as gaming is concerned, people will call you a PlayStation fanboy.
Oh, so there they go.
When I say, hey, I think from when I see Halo, from what I see of Halo, I don't think it's going to be a Game of the Year contender. People say, "Oh, you're a PlayStation fanboy," and I'm like, "No, I'm not a PlayStation fanboy. I just don't think it's where it needs to be, and it's not what it used to be. Like, am I still going to play it? Hell yeah. I'm going to play Hades. I'll probably buy Hades also on PlayStation. Back for Blood is really not from what I played.
Oh yes, well, no, we could talk about it right now because I don't got that trash on that this Grindboard. Yo, what's up, Mooch? How you doing, man?
Let's talk about that.
Mooch is on vacation. Shout out to Mooch, man. Yo, and I saw those Crossfire mugs. They look hot. They look awesome, man. So check out Mooch's channel and get those Crossfire mugs. Oh shit, I gotta get my. Yo, they look pretty cool. I saw those floating around there, man. But yeah, we played this Back for Blood.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So
the wife played it too, and she had some choice words.
Oh shit! She had choice words.
She was like, "What the fuck? Why can't I sprint?" I was like, "You are sprinting." She was like, then she's seen a little lung symbol, and she's like, and then she started realizing as you put more the lungs into the. She was like, "Okay, I seem like it," but she said when she sprinted, it felt like she was gliding.
Yeah. It definitely has that PC kind of feel. Like it's basically like it definitely feels like it was ripped from the PC shroud and just dumped on console. I do think it's fun. Like it has some elements of it, but it definitely has some budgety things. Like that's the thing. Like it's not as polished. And again, it's a beta. So, but you know what? Enough of this beta shit. We know what this stuff is. They're not going to fix the physics. Like it is what it is. But there is a little.
I'm gonna be honest with you. When they said, "Oh, Turtle Rock," Left 4 Dead. I kind of think that nostalgia for Left 4 Dead has worn off with the Xbox 360 gen. It's too late. Like, I don't think this game is gonna appeal to as big as an audience as people think it is. I think that with us having a Left 4 Dead 1, Left 4 Dead 2, and then we get a game that's kind of like, oh, this is like basically the Left 4 Dead team came back and made another game because they love Left 4 Dead. You guys should have made this in the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One era. It's a little bit too late for this. And when I mean not in this generation, at the end of the generation, this should have been something you made in 2012, 2013. Instead of making Evolve, this is what they should have made. I think this would have got a lot more attention back then. But no, they made Evolve, and that didn't do too well. And it's not because of Turtle Rock. This is the kind of game when you're like, oh, this is fun, but I don't see myself playing it. I don't see playing this by myself, number one. And number two, when I realized it's $60, I was like, oh, wait, this is a full price game? I thought it was going to be like $39 or $29. I didn't
think it would be that cheap, but yeah, I'm just saying it definitely feels budget.
I thought it was going to be $39.99, $49.99 for like that. The one with the season pass or whatever. When they like $59,
so you thought like a $40 type thing, yeah. Like
this is a $40. This feels like a $40 type game. It's not that it's horrible, and I'm pretty sure there's fun to be had, but I just think that Left 4 Dead kind of gameplay style that it feels a little dated with every other kind of shooter zombie. Like I'm not the biggest zombie guy, right? But I'd rather play Cold War zombies than play this game.
Well, that was the one thing I played like a survival stuff, and it definitely, I would say, yeah. Oh, and I started with the friggin' with the bat and stuff. Like, I'm like hit the tech. I'm like, dude, like I just don't know. Like I felt like much more visceral and tactile and stuff in Left 4 Dead. Like, Valve made a great shooter there. This does feel a little loosey goosey, like the way it is, and definitely there's some budgety stuff to it. But I do think like Jemiah says, like it'll have legs. I think it definitely is coming out it's a good it's October time, so Halloweenish like and stuff like that. It's definitely gonna have the things with it, but it definitely. Watching it when I first saw it, I thought it was gonna be like a true like Left 4 Dead like is like really polished and stuff. And from the beta that I played, it definitely feels like has that PC legacy type movement. It doesn't feel like tight for console, and maybe they fixed that with the beta, but definitely the zombie, the variety, the physics, like the stuff like there's definitely some stuff off. Like it feels like a budgety game, like an arcadia game, not as like a.
What
if I could try to explain that, yeah.
And what will help this game is crossplay. Crossplay is definitely gonna help this game because I play with PC guys. I played with I think I played with a couple of Xbox guys, but yeah, I think crossplay is gonna help this. But other than that, I think this game is gonna come and go, and people are gonna forget. They're gonna forget about this game. I don't think that it's one of those games where everybody's like, oh, I gotta get. I think it's just something that it's nostalgia. People who like Left 4 Dead will get it.
Yeah.
But at $59, I think I can wait until Cyber Monday.
Now it's on Game Pass. I think on every Game Pass PC and Xbox Game Pass, I think. Donut Pass. Oh shit, they're still going on about the donuts, the grinders. Grinders going wild there, Donut Pass. But yeah, like, I don't know, like, I'll try it out again. Like, I do like how your character gets covered in blood and stuff like that. But just the feel that I have, and maybe to fix it. The feel that definitely was a little off, like floaty, like you were saying, like floaty and stuff. It didn't feel like that tight, zombie type shooter. And again, if you want that, like Call of Duty having its thing, it's, you feel that, like, that hit. Like, this felt a little loose to me. So hopefully they take that feedback back from the beta, how they do it, and and make it a little bit better. Also, too, you have to play with friends. The AI is just dumb. And it's frustrating, and that they won't, like, revive you and things like that. So playing with friends obviously is definitely something to do, with this, because it is kind of tough when you are playing just with the AI. So that's probably where crossplay saves this, and it being on Game Pass nonetheless. I do think it's a great game for Game Pass. So say what you want with that, but this is the kind of game that definitely will get some more traction if it was on Game Pass. I think if it wasn't on Game Pass, I think it kind of would fall a little bit on the wayside, maybe. But Game Pass is going to give it that bump, So
yeah, this is a good game for Game Pass.
Good game for Game Pass.
Good game for Game Pass.
A new thing for Game Pass. But anyway, with that, we're gonna get into the let's get into the Grindsboard. We got a lot of topics tonight, and the grinders are going wild. Hit that like button. We got brand new subscribers, people joining the Grindhouse. Thank you again. Hit that sub button if you're new here. We're on our way to 1,000. Buck Roger needs his pool add-on to the Grindhouse. He's been waiting at the bar. He wants the pool, and we got to put the pool in. Once we hit 1,000 subs, I'll add the pool to the Grindhouse, and we'll have a pool party. Woo! No speedos and no nudity. But anyway, unless you get wild and drunk, and then the Philness is flowing throughout the party. But anyway, with that, we're gonna go to the Grindsboard. Let's see what the Grindsboard has cooked up for us today. Let's go. Let me get my Grindboard transition made with brimstone and fire. Grindsboard, there you go. Where is it? Let's go. And the Grindsboard has no friggin' sound. Damn it. I tell you, I keep muting my Grindsboard. Let's get some music. I want music with my Grindsboard. We'll do a quick intro while I get my stuff going on here. 2 Grindsboard intros. That kind of night. There we go. It's that kind of night, man. We get two Grindsboard intros. One without sound and one with sound. So there you go. I want everybody to feel it, especially for the new subscribers. They need to feel the full effect of the Grindsboard introduction. But anyway. So in case we didn't touch on this, the topics. All right, so these are the topics that I put together. They sang his own song. Ryan said he sang his own song to it. It's like anyway. Yeah, we didn't talk about this last week. I talked about it, but here's our Grindsboard for this evening. Let me see if I can reach. So we got our topics here. We're gonna be talking about. Hit that like button, everybody. Damn, we're at 43 likes. Holy crap, 43 likes. Woo! We got 84 people watching. Huge. This show's gonna be huge, man. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna have some friggin' fun to break up the monotony of that Twitter circus. So. Here we go. Topics we got. We got PSVR 2. Rumors and speculation. But I'm hyped for VR 2. Capcom dropping sales numbers. Sales. Xbox worth. What Capcom said. Oh, damn. I didn't know if that was true or not. But I'm just going to say it and we'll move on. And Take-Two going no to Game Pass because it's not made for big games. Oh, damn. Pause that one. Sony sells 10 million. We're at Sony dropping 10 million in numbers for their sales. We got Halo performance from the Halo Infinite beta that I played, and we did a whole show on Thursday. about Halo Infinite. One topic we talked about it. The performance numbers rolled out, so we got that stuff to talk about there. And then the stuff that dropped today, Hellblade, the series update. Man, it sounds good on paper, but man, that's some Ray Charles ray tracing over there, man. Woof. I don't know, man. I don't know if they know what ray tracing is. I don't know what's going on.
Yo,
man.
what's up? What's up?
Yo, what's up, Link?
Yo.
How you doing, man? We'll just run through the
good.
topics, and then we got Xbox dim mode and series PS update 2.0. We'll talk about that. And then the main things, like kind of talking about how Sony's silent and, there's not much going on, and Xbox boasting about they're going to Gamescom. Phil's bringing the donuts, he said. He's bringing the donuts to Gamescom.
Oh, no, don't eat the donut.
Pause. He's bringing those donuts. So the first topic is we're going to do this PSVR stuff. So this is just a rumor again. My Grindsboard is not working here. Maybe when you guys are talking, I'm going to try to unplug it and plug it in. But right now, we'll keep the show going. So right here,
all I'm gonna say is don't eat those
Arnold.
donuts. They're cocaine-filled cream puff donuts.
Damn, Puff
Phil
Puff.
Spencer edition.
Puff Puff. Oh, shit.
You call them the Phil Spencer edition donuts. Don't eat them. Pause.
Gooey fillings. Gooey fills.
Man.
Gooey filling.
Gooey
Oh,
fill?
man,
Oh,
that is
no.
just not. Oh, God, we got to
No.
stop with these donut analogies. Jesus. All right,
Like,
so.
they put it on their freaking website. Gooey filled. I mean, come on.
and
man.
soya. Oh, boy.
Oh.
So I don't know what soya is. I'm not looking that up. That might take me down the ducks.
That's the stuff left over from the rooftop party.
Oh,
That's what they put.
Jesus Christ. Frog at these rooftop parties.
Fucking Microsoft, man. It's just too easy, man.
Oh, the medium is coming to PS5. Yes, that's not going to the Grindsboard. The medium is exactly what it is. Medium rare. Oh shit. We got medium rare. I don't give a shit how many screens they got going. We got 2 instances of the game, 4 instances of the game. They can keep that medium rare. So back to something that matters. PSVR. Holy shit. PSVR here. So now Sony focusing on AAA games to bring PSVR. And again, this is rumor stuff. 2 controllers included in the box. Now this is what they show for the VR controller. Eye tracking and faux vetted rendering and OLED 4K. Also, I found that it said that they were going to have Fresnel lenses on it, which is different than the PSVR that they have now, where it's just one panel, and it's basically like a phone screen, a high-res phone, a 1080p phone screen at your face, but they didn't have the Fresnel lenses, and eliminated. What you get is that you get the screen door effect, and the Fresnel lenses are basically concentric glass circles. This is what they have in the Vive, and they reduce the screen door effect. And what the screen door effect is, it's kind of like when you're looking at a screen that close, you kind of see a little bit of maybe some of the haze or something in front of it. Like, you see maybe the pixels. Basically, that's what you're seeing. And what the Fresnel lenses do is they remove that screen door effect. So it looks much clearer there. So a higher resolution with the clearer kind of vision rather than having the pixel, even though the PSVR was pretty damn good in what it delivered because they had games being natively made for it. The VR basically had a little bit of a screen door effect, but Sony did a really good job with that screen in not having such an apparent screen door effect, where you would see a lot of it when you used to do the strap, put the phone to your head, like the old school VRs. You'll see, like looking at the screen that close, and magnified does that. The Fresnel lenses fix that with the concentric circles. So that's cool. And then with OLED 4K supposedly screen on here. But the biggest thing is this controller. This was the biggest problem I had with the Sony, the VR one. Because after going from the Vive to the PSVR, those orbs, they did their job somewhat. But first off, because it was detecting with the camera, with the light ball, like you couldn't do a full 360 around. You couldn't look away from the screen. Because if you hid those balls, you wouldn't be able to, it lost your tracking. Secondly, the biggest problem was not having an analog stick. The fact that they got the analog stick on here, a lot of these games are more complicated, and having the analog sticks on here with the sensory, the motion and stuff like that, dude, these are going to be awesome. They're going to be like the Oculus ones, probably even better because they're going to have that those. I'm sure they'll have the adaptive triggers, and I'm sure they're going to have that rumble. That very thing rumble. So I'm really hyped for that. And here's some more of the things. Backwards compatibility plans, headset. Again, this is all rumors, but I like that the PSVR thing is going. Like the ball's rolling on this thing. And here's the thing with the Fresnel lesson. Now they're saying, and you can see that they got the button split up here. They got a button over here. Also, too, they're saying that it's going to be 2,000 OLED screen Fresnel lenses with a 2,000 by 2040 resolution, HDR display, and release plans expected for 2022. So, wild, man.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I would like to see like Half-Life Alyx on this thing, since the PS5 should probably be able to run it. I think that'd be cool. I would like to really see, when we're talking about VR, I would like to see even Microsoft with their series.
Don't mention Microsoft and VR. That is the biggest lie in gaming industry.
I'm gonna tell you why.
They lied. They're not doing it.
I think that they really could. There's some games that I think could take potential of VR on their console, and I think that it'll be a little bit easier for them because they don't have to create.
Dude, they got their hands full. They're trying to figure out what the hell goddamn ray tracing is. They can't figure out VR too.
But could you imagine? No. Flight Simulator.
No, it's on. It is in VR, but on PC. It's never gonna. Phil doesn't want console VR. He tried finessing everybody when they try to say like Samsung and HP and friggin' Toyota are making headsets for the PC. Oh, Samsung's making one, like just whoring it out. Like, oh yeah, they're making these headsets, and we got the virtual office and all this. Get the hell out of here. They have no clue. What is that other thing? What is that? What was the other trash that they had? There was HoloLens 2. HoloLens 1 came out. That shit, they didn't even sell it. And then HoloLens 2 came out. And they didn't even sell that either. I'm just saying. Get out of here. This is real. This is happening.
Instead of them just creating a VR, I think maybe they just partner with one of these companies.
Nah, they tried it. It failed. Because they don't have the software. See, the first thing that you see here in this rumor, this is the thing. The first thing, and this is, I'm going to tell you, and I don't want to talk too much about this VR, but this is one of the main things that pulled me from the Vive to the PlayStation 1 was that there were native games and exclusive games being made for the PSVR, and actually fun games. You look at some of these games and they even did so well with the controller in VR with Astrobot,
right?
And Moss, and they're coming out with Moss 2. They even had the Getaway, not the Getaway, but the built off the Getaway, the Blood and Truth. And then what happened was they had a lot of games built for that, and similar to like how Nintendo rolls, where Nintendo makes games for their hardware, so it kind of they know, like, they gamify it, they make a game for it. Sony was doing that with the VR, which it was more experimental, even though it was better VR with the Vive on PC. The problem was that it was more experimental. Like, there was some cool demos, tech demos, and the games really weren't there. It was like, watch us build this game and try it out, which was really cool, and it was much better fidelity, but it wasn't a game. And Sony was making games, and when I found that they did the with what was it, that Mars game with the gum with the aim controller?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. That was the big thing that got me into the VR for the PlayStation, was that aim controller with that damn, what the frick's that game? That game's I forgot that game that was bundled with it. If you remember Grinders, if you remember the one that's in there. But the aim controller with that game and the VR, that setup would have cost, that would have cost crazy mods and money and modules and 3D printers on PC. And the fact that Sony got it into a consumer product, like $100 and something for the game and for the aim controller, that was awesome. And they did it all in that thing. Farpoint. And Moss was crazy good too, Jeff. That's right. Farpoint. Thanks, Gadget. But yeah, like the fact that they got, somebody has a PS5 on. We got sound effects. So we got so I just thought that was really cool that they did that, and that because I tried something like that at PAX East where somebody modded a game and they were coming out with the game for the Vive, and I played with a gun, and I'm like, holy crap, where can I get this? I want to play this. They're like, oh, well, we 3D printed the gun. We attached those Vive pieces on here. Each one of those are $70. We have 2 of them on here. And then I have it 3D printed. I'm like, oh, so is this going to be for sale? He's like, no. Then I found out about that aim controller, and I went to the PSVR. But anyway.
No, I think what Sony's doing, and Sony continuing to support, VR is good. I just kind of wish that there was competition in the console space because
Well,
you know, and
Oculus is doing a good job on it. That's all
Oculus
that's
is supposed
left,
to be doing a
really.
good job, and but if I'm not mistaken, isn't the PSVR like the top selling VR headset? If I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken.
It
Yeah,
was.
so
Well, the Oculus has been pretty gaining. I think
well,
Oculus has been doing
it's been
great
gaining ground
because it's been
because of
wireless.
right, it's been wireless, and I think that's why. So I just think that I think there's a market for VR. It may be not as big as a market, but I think if you can keep it, cost effective and come out with some because I do think that there's software on the and I keep saying Xbox doesn't do that. They need to show that hey we can. And the reason I said this is because I think they have some software like the flight simulator. I think will be perfect for
Oh,
VR.
not for
The
console VR. Like,
for I just think that'd be the perfect thing for VR. Like I just imagine like that just using that in VR because look at No Man's Sky and all these other software that Sony has in VR and I'm like I don't know Microsoft I think they could do a
whatever.
VR.
They're not doing a VR. They're done. They got to figure out ray tracing, and then they'll do VR. They got to
Oh
take one baby
shit! You said
steps.
figure
Microsoft's got to
out
do
ray
baby
tracing.
stuff right now. Next topic we got here is Capcom sales, and this thing that was floating around the internet. And then again, we're just gonna talk
Oh
about it because this is the stuff that goes around here. But Capcom dropped its sales for like what, when these third party publishers talk about their sales, they talk about how it does on all the platforms, right?
right.
And what it looks like. So that's kind of, and given that Xbox really doesn't talk about it, Sony talks about how much their games sell. They did that in their sales thing. I saw some people, talking about the Returnal sales and the Ratchet sales, and Microsoft just says, yeah, we're doing okay, we're doing well, it did all right,
Hmm.
and everybody writes articles about that. Oh, Microsoft just said it's all right. What's always I find is very interesting is that everything that Microsoft does is all self-proclaimed. Like a lot of their things, like we did well. Like it all comes from them. Nobody's really on the outside looking in, going, "They're doing awesome. They are really doing great." Like a lot of. And if it does come from there, it comes from like the primarily like Windows websites or Microsoft websites. Like a lot of industry people are going like, "Hey, this game is doing well. This game's doing this." Like there's no capping in that
Hmm.
sense. A lot of it is self-proclaimed. Like it's like we're doing great, and then quote we're doing
Right.
great.
Whereas like Sony and Nintendo will put out
They have
numbers
to
like,
drop numbers,
"Hey,
and then
Death Stranding has sold over 5 million copies." And you're
yes,
like, and some people say it's a flop, but that's actually a success. When you look
yeah,
at
I would
Kojima's
love
game
to know the
sales.
numbers of what Xbox really is doing, but they don't talk about it. They just say, "Yeah, we're doing good," and then here
Yeah,
goes the articles. Xbox is
I
doing
mean,
great.
even
See, we
even
told you. It's like,
Returnal, even Returnal selling its half a mil. That's not bad for the install base it has. It's that because that game is not as big. I don't think that game appeals even with Ratchet selling what it's so. Sony seems to be doing okay with and because with their user base being what plus 10 million now, that's not
Mhm.
bad. I think that when you see games like Spider-Man, that's just something that's unique in itself because it is Spider-Man. So that
Mhm.
attach rate is probably going to be far higher. You
mm,
know, like everybody bought a PlayStation 5. I would say half the people have it. So I would expect
You
that game to easily sell 5 million.
what do you
Go
think,
ahead. I'm
Mike?
you
sorry.
really don't you really about what?
About like the sales thing, like about what you think about what like about that Returnal thing selling about a
Well, I
half a
think
million.
Returnal so well, based on the install base, and a lot of
Yes.
these launch games. What people don't realize is these launch games you can't reach. There's no way to realize the full potential of a launch game until years
Exactly.
into the generation because you're still going
Where'd the sound go?
There we go.
Yeah.
I'm back.
You're
Sorry.
back.
All right.
What
Again.
happened?
Oh, I pulled the plug. Actually, I pulled the wrong plug. It was like the red wire. Pull the red wire. And I was like, no, the blue wire. And I pulled it. I thought it was my Stream Deck, and it was the whole friggin' audio for everything. So sorry about that. Sorry, Link. What were you saying again?
I was just saying, there's no way for you to know the full potential of that game, be it any launch game, so that early. Like I said, people are going to continue to buy PS5s and they're going to buy games.
Mm-hmm.
And
Like
so
Spider-Man,
we really
right? Miles Morales.
like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
After a few months, with those sales are solid sales. That game will continue to sell. No, I mean I don't expect Returnal to get to 5 million copies sold, but the game will continue to sell over time. And so those are some solid, strong sales for a smaller studio making their first AAA game, and we don't know the budget.
Yeah.
So Sony was very
did
happy
enough
with
for
the
them
sales.
to buy them. They did it.
Sony was very happy with the sales, and if the game lost money, I don't think Sony would have been that quick to bring them in.
Yeah.
So I feel like the game couldn't have had a crazy high budget because I mean there weren't like NPCs you were interacting with. Celine pretty much was the only character that was mocap, if they even did mocap. So I mean the budget of the game, you can't compare the budget of that to something like God of War Horizon. So Sony was happy with the sales. For as small as the install base is, for it to sell over 500,000 copies with a 10 million install base, when you got games that are available on multi-platforms that may sell 1 million or 2 million,
right?
When they have access to hundreds of millions of customers, that's nothing to sniff at, in my opinion.
Yeah, and they did enough that, to Sony for them to buy them and to think that they hold value. Because Sony just don't go around buying companies, ones that people are about to retire or quit, and like, hey, before you shut those doors, we'd like to give you some money. You can come and work for us. Sony kind of has been buying their stuff very calculating. They're buying their studios at their high points. They bought, right after Spider-Man, they bought Insomniac, and then they pumped out 2 more games out of that stuff. So Returnal, they bought them not before the game launched. Like I'm sure that they assessed, how this game is going to do and all this other stuff. And I think the game was great. And also too, like you said, this is where people don't understand. And again, it's not the chart right now at Capcom, but the thing is about this whole exclusive thing and everything's a banger. And I know everybody kind of goes funny on Twitter going like every game that comes from Sony is like it has to be the God of War and that kind of level, Last of Us level. And it's like,
wait, can they hear us? Because Curtis keeps saying no audio. I don't know.
Is it no audio? Hello?
Can you guys hear us?
Can you guys hear me? It looks like they could hear us. Hello, testing. Can you guys hear us? Oh, audio's back. He was just talking.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. Wait, can they hear? I just want to make sure. Confirm. Hit yes in the chat if you could hear. Yes, they could hear us. Okay, good. There was a delay. All right. Okay. Sorry. Sure. Somebody was behind. Somebody on that 3G. Maybe, who knows?
Oh, okay.
I don't know. The YouTube has this delay and stuff like that.
I mean,
sorry,
like you're saying, every game is not supposed to be a blockbuster game. Each game has its own budget and target that they're looking at, sales they're looking at achieving. So, obviously, with a smaller studio, we know this game does not have $150 million budget. I mean, we know it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't understand how people can just blindly say the game was a failure if the company that financed the project is saying that it was a hit.
Yeah.
Well, Link,
they were happy with it.
Like, that's the same thing. Like, people are saying Death Stranding is a failure because Kojima made it. And I'm like, the game sold 5 million between PC and
that was another thing that came up. Yeah.
And the thing is, like, Kojima's best-selling game was Metal Gear Solid 5, if I'm not mistaken, which sold 7 million on multiple consoles. So 5 million on one console to me is pretty damn good considering a multi-plat game sold 6 to 7 million. So how's that a failure? I don't know. Like some people, I don't know. I think it's because it's Kojima's name attached to it. They're just like, oh, it's a failure because he didn't sell 10 million. I'm like, but when has he ever sold 10 million? That's not Kojima's. Kojima's good for an easy 5 mil. I think Returnal will hit 2 mil in his lifetime. I think Ratchet and Clank in his lifetime will hit 5 mil. You know, somebody remember when? Do you guys remember when Uncharted 4 came out? And then when they reported numbers of the sales, people were like, "Oh, it's just inflation because it was attached to each console. You could buy a console with it." I think Sony may end up doing that. Maybe they'll package a Returnal and a Ratchet together with the PS5
They'll start
in
putting
the
it on
next year.
sale like
Yeah,
more
and, and,
frequently.
and the
And that's
and the
the whole
thing is,
point, the
like, people gotta
waterfall
understand.
approach. Like that's
Yeah,
the whole
people gotta
point with
understand.
it.
This is the first year. In the first year, you gotta. The reason you're not gonna see different things from Microsoft because they don't report numbers. Nintendo in their first year, we already knew that anything that has a Nintendo stamp with Nintendo's
Mm-hmm.
name on, it's going to attach right to the console. So however many consoles sell is how many of Mario Kart are sold, Zelda sold. So Sony's a little different, where they're like a little slow out the gate with their sales, but their sales, like by the lifetime sales, Returnal may sell 3, 4 million, 5 million, whereas Ratchet may sell 10 million lifetime. So we got to look and think that like this is just the beginning. And then at first, in the
Mm-hmm.
console launch with these games that are coming out, damn, that's pretty damn
Yeah.
good. Like
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man is an anomaly.
Well,
Spider-Man is a complete
Guapzilla
anomaly.
says a 500K out of 10 million PS5 owners is a higher attach rate than
Yes, it is.
6.5 from the 126 million of the PS4 and the PS5 owners. So, and the other thing too, like to your point, the thing is that when you have a game, Returnal, selling at that $70 price point, the waterfall approach. Now they'll drop it on
Yes.
sale and introduce it to a new market at $50 or $40.
There you go.
Then drop it again, and drop it again. And as they keep dropping it, they keep getting more and more hits as they go. And then eventually, probably they put it in, PS Plus or something like that for the holiday or something like that, or even PS Now for a time being. But that's the approach of it. Whereas, you have a game, if it goes in Game Pass, it basically gets this big bolus up front and then just trails off. It doesn't have those different beats unless there's new content added, because everybody has access to the game. They're only going to jump in if new content's added. So you have this high initial jump on a game, but then like it falls off, and how fast it falls off is depending on how good the game is. But you see this with Gears, you saw this with stuff, you see the things. See, we don't get sales numbers there, but you see with Gears 5 how they now mandated crossplay with Operation 6. Crossplay now is in there because people were having issues finding rooms. Then what they just did now in the newest update, the last one I believe, before I think it's the last one, they removed the icon to know where the person's playing from. So now it's just kind of ambiguous that now it's like, since we disabled it, you're not going to know who you're playing with, a PC or a console, because now it's mandatory. You can't turn it off anymore. And we talked about this on the last show. 40% of the people turned it off. Those are indications that this thing, it's dropping. You know what I mean? And the fact that people try to find the room and stuff like that. So, like, you have this big bolus, but then it drops off. But when you have a price point, $70, I'm not paying $70. 60, 50, you introduce new markets, so that basically you hit at each of those. So you're right, the lifetime sales, and we have seen this too with Miles Morales. Miles Morales, although it's a cross-gen game, really had an attach rate and association with the PS5 in the UK, because that's the only kind of numbers we really see, and they're not hiding them or anything like that. But you saw with the increase in the PS5 sales, Miles Morales ranked higher on the sales chart. People were buying that with Miles Morales, even though they could play it on a PS4. So the other thing is that these exclusives, and I heard conversations, people talking about exclusives don't matter, but the thing is that when you build a library of games like Returnal, even though it's at 50 and it didn't sell 2 million, the thing is though is that now you have a library of games that when people buy their PlayStations or get their content, you have this library of exclusives that only could be played there. It's not that one game. Everybody's like, Microsoft just has to drop Halo at that one game and then we're back in it. No, it is a library of exclusive games, a plethora of content that builds around, because that one game might not appeal to everybody. That's why you have multiple exclusive games. So Returnal does what it has to do, but you got Returnal, Ratchet, Spider-Man, Demon Souls, then you have Horizon, then you have Kenna. You have these games where you could put these games in exclusive bubbles, and I know some of them, Kenna's a time exclusive, but like at least that first party, you build this kind of library of games.
You have, when you do what Sony has done, with the PlayStation launching in November, and now it's August. So we're about 9 months in, and you've had all kinds of different first party, as well as you got some more stuff coming with some of these deals that they have. But a game like Returnal is a strong debut for a studio that's really only made small indie titles. So
Yeah.
I guarantee you Returnal is probably their best selling games.
Yeah.
And so
then Ratchet, I think, did like $1 million, like over just
right,
about $1
Ratchet
million.
did $1 million, and some people were like crapping on that, saying, "Oh
I
my
know.
god, it didn't sell."
You want to crap on something? Look at this friggin'
$3
shot of
million,
Capcom
$3
games.
million. Okay, $1 million sales in a listen. When you're looking at sales, you can't compare the sales of a game like, say, Ratchet or even Returnal to something like The Last of Us Part 2 or Ghost of Tsushima, when you have when those games came out and they were accessible to over 100 million users, and those games still, a game like Ghost of Tsushima with 6 or 7 million sales out of 100 plus million consoles, that's only about 5%. So, so when you look at it, the way people's purchasing habits are, people buy exclusives, but every exclusive doesn't appeal to every customer. And I don't care how great I might think Returnal is, because right now it's my game of the year.
It's
I
great.
have not played a game. I have not played a game that's gotten.
And I'm not a fan of those type of games. And Returnal had me hooked. Like that. I'm not a fan of those kinds because I feel like they're time wasters. But I thought it was very creative in how they were able to tell a story and keep the randomization going. Because I played games that did this random dungeon stuff, and it kind of got a little like, okay, like, I'm like, yeah, it's too random. Like things like walls, like doors wouldn't match up, and I'm like, this looks like somebody just hit random and put assets in a game. Returnal really had some really, like, everything felt kind of natural. Like when you went through it after a death and you went through it still felt like it's its own game. It didn't feel like a random, like somebody hit the random button, and it's like, things are on the walls, things are over, like the weird ass things are happening because it's just the game is just automatically randomizing these things. Like it made sense. That's why it was okay to go through it again and keep running through it because it felt like a natural flow. It got familiar every time you went through it. But one thing that I have been had up here was Capcom's thing, and we know, a lot of studios like Capcom, Square Enix, they've been going into that Game Pass thing because of, they would either have exclusives on the Switch or on the PlayStation and not put it on Xbox, Yakuza series and things like that. And, this one I think is Ace Attorney or something like that. That, Game Pass, why would they put them in Game Pass like after the fact? And it shows here where, like, if you look through the years, you'll see that Xbox One and Xbox 360, they were kind of holding it hand in hand in 2018, and some of these games are holding it, and then all of a sudden, like, it really kind of started flip flopping here, and like, Sony had so many more, the PlayStation was carrying it, and Xbox really, they were just not it wasn't doing the same sales. And again, you got to look at time as money. And if they're making these games for different consoles and they're not going to feel like they're going to get their money back, then they're not going to make it. And you'll get that time exclusivity on the PlayStation. And I just want to say the last thing here, and again, I don't know how real this is, but this is the thing that was floating around the internet, where it says here, Switch is considered the most important platform, having the best sales for 2019 Trilogy Remaster, and expected to account for roughly 63% of the collection. Xbox One is considered non-viable, with the 2019 remasters only selling around 1,000 copies worldwide on that platform. So, that's why Yakuza's showing up now. I don't know, but like that thing was floating around. But again, I think you could see it. Like you could see, you don't need the sales numbers, but that what's going on is that those games are not selling that much on Xbox, and Game Pass seems to be the kind of all-inclusive open arms. Put your games here after you make your money, or if you want your game to get some recognition, put your game here. If you feel like you need some, like, you need a jump start, things like that, go to Game Pass. Like, it feels like a kind of a safety net. of just for developers, and that's where it kind of falls, and people think that you make fun of it, but you look at the content that's going to it, it kind of is getting those games. Like Ascent is, we were playing, we're talking about last week. It's all right. It got destroyed in reviews. I think maybe some of the reviews are a little too low, but it definitely had some issues with it. And apparently they fixed it on Windows, but like Steam had
You talking about Ascent?
Ascent, yeah.
Oh god, yes. Oh god.
Like it had issues, but like see the safety net, it's in Game Pass, and kind of like that's where Game Pass kind of gets its connotation as being this kind of buffet of like mediocrity.
Well, what it looks like
has some
is
gems in it, but
what it looks like is happening is, I mean, you got a situation where third-party sales are continuing to decline on that platform. Capcom numbers keep coming out and showing that there's going to be a gap in the sales of the PlayStation and Xbox just because the PlayStation is a more popular platform. I get that.
Yeah.
But it's not even comparable to what the install base should be on that They're not buying these games. And so you have a situation where a third party's got to look at, and I think it's like Microsoft is kind of like looking at this and they're like, it looks bad, but it could be a situation where devs might be forced to put their game over there in Game Pass because that's the only way people are going to play it and they're going to make any money over there. Or it might be a situation where third-party devs just say, well, the sales are not even enough for us to recoup the development costs. Yeah. We're just not going to even put it over there. So, you know what I mean? It's a weird dynamic because I don't know if Phil's looking at this and being like, okay, we got them right where we want them. Now we can force them to put their game in Game Pass because that's the only way people are going to play it. And they'll just take this whatever this upfront money we're going to give them, and they just got to be happy with it.
Yeah, but I think don't you think that's dangerous though?
It's very dangerous because you're
it is.
You're at a point, like you said, they can say, you know what, we're not even going to bring this game to your console. Screw it, because it's not selling. You know, it's not going to sell. It's not selling. People don't want these type of games in your console. So
and the install base too. The install base is shrinking on the console.
Why even bring it here when we're not getting as much of return? Well, we can just make this exclusive on PlayStation and it can sell, $5 million.
Yeah, and also too, you got to look at the install base, like the install base, and that's what I mean. Like when they talk about sales, like Sony's showing 10 million sales, and Xbox is, are they near it? Are they close? Are they at 5 million? Are they at 6 million? The thing is like that install base for the console too is not really there. That's why they try to use this whole that's a big cloud. Thing right there. We're doing clouds, we're doing PCs, and we're doing everything, and all these people are part of the community. But to a developer, they see through the bullshit. Like, they know that, wait a second, those are different the PC is a different platform. If we want to make a game for a console, there's 10 million PlayStations out there, and 120 million if we make it backwards compatible. We got that's the install base, and yeah, that's two different generations, but within the same architect, it's within the same family. There, where you're talking about a PC which has all the variations, and you've seen the Halo Infinite dudes look like deer in headlights going, well, we got all NVIDIA chips, we got all AMD chips, we got to sample this on all the different PCs. When I submitted my request to play it, I had to give my DX, my whole PC configuration and send it to them. So they know what they're looking at because they got to span the devices of all these PCs. That's different development. It might be similar, but when you're talking about developing for a closed platform of a console versus, we only have 7 million Xboxes here or 6 million Xbox Series X's, but you know what? We have 1 billion PCs too, and it's like, well, we don't want to do PC development just yet. We'll see about that, but they try to finesse them in that way where it's a bigger install base. That's why and then in addition, talking about the cloud and all that other stuff. So they're trying to lump all these people together, which makes you scratch your head on some games when you think about how many devices they're available on, like Bleeding Ass. That was on so many devices, but it didn't even see its 1 year anniversary before they said we're done with it. It shows that just because you're on so many devices, it depends on the game. And if the game also has a market on PlayStation and stuff like that, Xbox tends to not go into that Japanese market too much. They made some good space with the 360, but they kind of lost it with the Xbox One and try to get some of it back. But and develop publishers like Bandai Namco and stuff like that will take a chance and put some games on Xbox at the same time. Even Kojima did it with Konami was doing it. But speaking of Halo and stuff, again, it's so hard because Xbox doesn't talk about sales, so you can't compare them. They just say we're doing well, and people will write articles going, Xbox is fine. See. Meanwhile, Sony says, here are the numbers, and people make judgments going, oh, well, that didn't do well. And Sony's like, no, it did well, and we bought them. Yeah. Oh, no, it failed. Epic fail. Meanwhile, Phil just goes, we're doing great. And it's like, quote, we're doing great. Fine. It's like, okay. They could just talk out their ass. Self-proclaimed champions of whatever they think they are. But somebody's showing real hard-ass numbers, and it's like, oh, yeah, bullshit. All right, the money shows where people are buying games, and where people are playing.
Right.
And
but
10
Game
million
Pass is changing. Game Pass is directly impacting people's
buying
habits on that console. They don't.
Yeah.
They don't.
It is.
They don't want to buy a game, or they're like, well, I'll just wait it out until it comes to the service.
You see it whenever a game's announced. The first question is I
don't care
is
what
on Game
people
Pass?
Are saying. The numbers show different. The
Yep.
sales, third-party sales, are on a sharp decline on that console, and it doesn't matter what people say. Oh, I buy games. As a whole, Xbox gamers are not purchasing these games.
Yeah. You know what else too? Like the other thing is that the fact that all those games are available to you in the supposedly backlog that you have, that also kind of makes you refrain from the need to buy a new game. I've seen that a lot too. Like, I have all these games coming to me through Game Pass, and then here comes the new third-party game, and people are like, I'm going to wait on it. I'm not going to buy it. Not necessarily because it's not in Game Pass, but because you go to a buffet, and then somebody, after you finish your buffet, you walk out the window, you walk outside, and somebody's like, oh, I got some steak for you. Here you go. And it's a great quality steak, and you're just like, dude, I'm full. Like, I've been eating, that maybe if you got me on the going in, I would have wanted to eat this stuff. So you got to think
it's too much.
It's people's time. Yeah, it's people's time that's also being consumed by Game Pass. And the fact that it's available everywhere, on your phone and on your PC, their ideas, they're trying to they're pulling you out of the need to buy a new game because they want you to live in their world. And that world could be mediocrity. It could be there's some good games, there's some bad games, but meanwhile, they're consuming your time trying to figure out what you're gonna like. And I don't know time for that.
The idea of having one really good game come out every once in a while. Have one or two big games come out, really big games come out once a year. Then you're like, okay, hey, we have one in April, and then we have one, I don't know, in August, September. That's pretty suffice for most people that are going to play in that console. Like, when The Last of Us and Ghost of Tsushima came out, and we're like, yo, how are both these games going to survive? And they did.
They did.
They both survived because of the timing and the way they came out. And it was like people got to finish one, and they got to right to the next big thing, and it was like, holy crap. Like, and by the end of the year, there's like, okay, I finished these two big projects. Let me go play my Battlefield, my Call of Duty now, because I finished the big. And I think Microsoft doesn't do that. Microsoft is like, you know what? If we can't give it to you, we'll just try to give it to you all at once. Here you go. Here's a whole bunch of stuff. Some of it's mediocre. Some of it's okay. Some of it we're going to say is exclusive because we got it in Game Pass day one. But realistic, it's a multi-plat. Like for instance, Hades. Like Hades is going to be on Xbox, but it's still coming out on PlayStation. I'm like, where's that game probably going to sell better at? I think it's going to, obviously, it's sold on the Switch really well. I think it'll sell pretty decent on the PlayStation.
It's a great game for Game Pass. Another game. That's a good get. That's a good get for them. It's a perfect
game for Game Pass. I'm not knocking it. But
what is?
It's like
Hades.
But what I'm saying is, like, I think that game is still going to sell regardless because of how people have revered it as, like, such a successful game. I think there are a lot of people that are going to really buy that game, So I think it's a good get for Game Pass because when they announced it, I was like, good get. Games like that, if they can produce more of that stuff in Game Pass, then you're like, oh, okay, I see the quality. But on the flip side, we already know that game's still going to sell probably pretty decent. I would say it's going to sell pretty decent, maybe a million
On
or two.
Xbox?
No, on PlayStation.
Oh, I was about to say.
Oh no, on PlayStation. I'm talking about it's probably going to sell a million or two on PlayStation, just because people have been talking it up, and I think that because it's on Game Pass, that's a good gift for people who are on Game Pass. But I think on the opposite consoles, the people who can buy it, they're going to go out there and buy it because they just want to play it.
Yeah.
They just want to play it.
Likewise, like we're talking about sales and we'll just bundle all this together. It's like topics 1, 2, and 3, 2 and 3, and talking about it. Like Take-Two CEO says he doesn't want new games on Game Pass, and he says it doesn't really make sense for frontline titles. And I know we could talk about also, we could say about Cyberpunk. They came out real quick and we're not on Game Pass either because it could have hurt their sales. Like people are not going to pre-order, even though probably they love their pre-order numbers, and that was a whole other shit show. But there were another publisher coming out when there was rumors that they might go to Game Pass. But Take-Two's he says it right here, and I think this is the big thing that people need to see, frontline titles. This comes off the tail end of how even Sean Layden was saying putting big games with big budgets in Game Pass really is, you have to be a loss leader, and you really need that huge subscriber account even to kind of meet the expectation that you would get. Because again, they would all prefer for you to, and I'm telling you this too, even, what the hell is that? Oh, I got a fly in here. But even Xbox, I'm sure they would love for you to buy your games. I think the subscription, because remember, the subscription thing is it's not guaranteed. It goes ebbs and flows, ups and downs, depending on content. And, it gives you some consistency if you could get a locked-in install base and a necessity. And that's where Xbox Live was able to lock that in for all those years, because you needed that to play online. And that's why they bundled Game Pass and Xbox Live together to try to get that kind of locked in install base while they could expand to other people and other platforms with Game Pass. But still, relying on a service to just play games, it's gotta be draining. And the fact that you watch the ups and downs and the goes arounds. If you could tell me, hey, you know what, I'm gonna watch my sub count go from 10 to 15 to 10 to 15 to 18 to 2 to 12 to 15 to 8, or someone could be like, yo, here's $60.
And you're always worried about maintaining that base because
you have a bad month, they drop.
That's your money.
Exactly.
And so whereas if you sell a game, that's it.
That's it. We're done with you. Thank you. I got your money.
Right, unless you want to do some DLC or some microtransactions.
We got you. Yeah, if you want to add those extra stuff to it. But the upfront cost, we got you. We don't have to say, we're going to put a $70 game that we would sell in Game Pass. Some people can buy $5 a month. Hopefully we get that person staying around 6 months.
This is honestly where I think Microsoft went wrong, is making Game Pass the sole focus of the platform.
Yes.
Because what they did was they announced that all of their first party titles, day and date, were going to that service. Okay, well,
we didn't even know what those titles were. That's how crazy that was. They just committed it without even talking about it.
Right, and anybody who's a subscriber to the service isn't okay. That you're never going to buy a first party title from them if you're a subscriber. It makes no sense. Yeah. And so, instead of using the trickle down effect where you can make when you have multiple streams of revenue, they're looking at this being their only, not the only source of revenue, because there's some people that are just not going to sign up for Game Pass. But this is their main, this is what they're trying to make their main source of revenue, their main focus. And so, but the problem is I think that's where they went wrong, is making this the primary focus of Xbox.
That's my problem. Yeah, that's my biggest problem. And I'm going to read the quote that he said here, and this makes a good sense, because we always refer to the Game Pass of Netflix and Game Pass being synonymous, and we always say interactive, gaming is different than movies, right? And he goes into this. It's pretty interesting. So I'm going to read this quote. So he goes, "Our views remain unchanged. We think a subscription model can make sense for deep catalog titles." The ones that I'm not selling, probably. The old catalog games. "But it doesn't really make sense for frontline titles. For any business model to make sense in the entertainment business, it has to work for the creators of the entertainment as well as the consumers of the entertainment. I think catalog can make sense for the publishers, but it can make sense for the consumers who are avid, who really want access to a lot of product. But if you're getting into frontline product, then the economics are much more difficult to make sense of. So he says observing consumption patterns for streaming services like Netflix, which offers linear entertainment, at least for now, are different from interactive entertainment. So they go on to say, consumers who are involved with interactive entertainment have different consumption patterns than those involved with linear entertainment. Linear entertainment customers consume something like 150 hours of programming a month. Binge watching, right? That's exactly what we're talking about.
Right.
Watch 8 episodes, 1 hour long, 8 hours. Yeah. That's probably well over 100 different titles. In the case of interactive entertainment, consumers are consuming something like 45 hours a month. And that may be 1, 2, 3, or 4 titles. That's not 100 titles. So from a consumer point of view, it's not clear that a subscription model really makes sense for the bulk of consumers. So he says that they're open-minded still, but you got to look at that. Like, there's no binge gaming. You know what I mean? Like, you don't, like, you gotta, like, and it's funny because they kind of talk about that resume thing, you know, that instant quick resume stuff where it's like this ADD type gaming. Like, I'm gonna jump from this Halo to Gears, jump back and forth and all this other stuff. Like this kind of like consumption of binge gaming. And people don't really binge game. They will get invested into a game, into a story, into a character, into an experience, and want to live in that area. People are not going to just pay 5 minutes of this, 5 minutes of this, 6 minutes of this, 3 minutes of this, and I'm going to go through all my hour is going to be trying to figure out what I like. And it's funny because when I watched, shout out to Salty who's in the chat, when he was playing and they streamed at Dungeons and Dragons online with Jaffe, that's exactly what that was. They try to figure out what they wanted to play because they got into the game. They're like, yo, this game is not good. That's after 15 minutes. Then they went down their list of Game Pass games and they try to figure out, like, all right, well, what do you think about this game? Okay, let's try this. And they try that game and they're like, nah. After 5 minutes, like, nah, not that. That's not good. And I watched this stream and I'm like, this is exactly what they want. They just want you to figure out what to play amongst this stuff. I don't want that stuff. I want to be shown a quality product, have like, you know, great trailers, great things, and to be invested and want to pay money to do this. That's why people scratch their head and go, I'm not paying for that. I think that should be free in Game Pass. And it's like,
yeah, but Microsoft doesn't want you to do that anymore with the Xbox. They don't want you. That's not how they want you to.
They want you to play all these different things.
They want you to play. Yeah, they want you just to be in that ecosystem of Game Pass, live in there, and wait for stuff to come, whether it's good or bad. If it's bad, it's like,
who cares?
You paid for it, and you got other options. And if it's good, it's like, oh well, we got a good one. But the thing is, if it's bad, they're like their big excuses, like, because I've heard people say this before. That are invested in Game Pass. Well, if it's bad, well, I got 99 other options. I don't need to stick with this one. I'm like, wow, that should not be how you think.
No, it's funny. Like, talk to a collector. Oh, sorry. Like, yeah, you were gonna say something before, Frog. Yeah, you said.
I was just saying, like, even being subscribing to the service, I paid the $1 and got my gold converted over to Game Pass Ultimate. And when I started to realize is when something new did come to Game Pass, I wasn't really inclined to finish it. Like, I would play stuff.
I know.
I would try different things.
You don't mind deleting it.
But I didn't mind deleting anything. I didn't mind finishing it. And I was like, well, I didn't really buy it, so I'm not super invested in it. So it's not like I'm trying to get my money's worth out of it because
Exactly. So your tolerability definitely is much lower in
subconsciously. It does affect the way you look at that product. I don't care what, because when you spend your money on something, I've bought games and I was like, I don't like this, and I just put it away. That's happened. Right. But I'm more inclined to try the game. I'm more inclined to give it more time before I decide I don't like it. Whereas on Game Pass, I might play something for 10 minutes and be like, whatever. You know what I mean? So it's different because you don't have any true investment in any of these games because you don't own any of them.
You don't
own it.
Yeah, like I
Originally.
tried, and UFC people, I'll try it. It's in Game Pass. I'll try it. And I brought this up a bunch of times. It's like, well, what is the measurement of what they want? Like, do they just want you to try? Like, are they putting things in there? Because if they know that a majority of people are doing exactly that, they're just trying it out, then they kind of know that, hey, are you going to give your best swing, or are you going to give a kind of a bunt? Going, you know what, if people try it out, they, like, are you going to do high risk, or are you going to do low, are you going to just do, like, just enough to get a game in there because you know the people are just going to kind of pass by and down, or you're going to put, like, a whole trail, like, all this energy and all this kind of investment and marketing and all this other stuff into this product if you know people are just going to be passing by? You're not. You're going to give your half measure because you know everybody who's going to experience this is probably going to just enough, like, dip their foot in the water. But that's why when you look at, like, when you look at a Horizon, or you look at the games that Sony's showing, like, they're putting production and marketing, and they're really trying to sell you a product because they got to sell you that product, a $60, $70 product. They got to sell it to you.
You can be a Game subscriber, and
there's more investment in there.
You could be, as long as you're a subscriber to Game Pass, you don't have to pay none of the shit that's in there. So
they don't get much money. You too.
You can look at the quality. Well, first of all, Microsoft's not even putting any first party games out, but look at the quality of the games that are going into that service. I don't care what you say.
Like, besides Forza, really, like, I mean, Forza is Forza, but you even looked at that, like, it looks.
Look at Gears. You cannot tell me Game Pass didn't affect the development of that game. There's no way you can tell me that.
You want to talk about affecting development of a game? Let's talk Halo Infinite and what the hell that thing's running at. Do you see? So that thing came up. So Halo Infinite, performance-wise, now again, this is just the thing. It's funny. There's a funny thing here. Ryan says here, I finally get it. It's Game Pass because you keep passing on games. Oh, shit. There we go. Let's hit the sirens for that one. That was a good one. I got my soundboard back. We're good. So, and I got to hit the sirens for the Halo Infinite. Holy shit, I got to hit the sirens here.
Hey, Dungeons & Dragons wasn't even a bunt. That was more like the pitcher hit you with the ball and they just let you walk. It's like, we're sorry we hit you. Just don't worry about it.
And people say, like, oh, you're not. The thing is that look at what the economics of Game Pass. Like, you could sit there and say, hey, it's, oh my God, this is best. I don't have to buy games. I could just, but you got to think long term, like, what, and also too, it's been demonstrated. Quality has been something. Like, come on, dude. Here we go. Phil Spencer.
Means when I think about Xbox, I'm going to think about quality games. We have work to do there. We haven't done our best work over the last few years with our first party output.
We haven't done our best quality output, and this is in 2019 over the last few years. So, like, this is when Game Pass has been implemented, 2017, 2018. Like, their quality has dipped. He acknowledged that. So the fact that we're not, and then you look at what Halo's doing. Come on, man. Halo was, like, they had podcasts. They had the movie shows. They had in-depth. Oh my God, it was a phenomenon. It was like, hold the presses. Halo is coming out. This Halo Infinite is coming out to, like, yo, it's a great shoot. It's okay. Like, you know, what are you expecting? Halo wasn't a looker before. What? Like,
that's a lie.
Come on, dude. Like, and then you look at how this game now it came out. Look at the performance of this game. This is stripped
Worse
down.
Than the previous version,
dude. This is stripped down to bare bones. There were no effects. Like, a lot of the effects that I complained about last week, saying, like, a lot of it was turned down. The fact that all that shit was turned down and it's hitting these resolutions.
It had that, dude.
Oh
my God.
It's targeted on the Series S. Aims for 1080p in both its frame rate modes. It really needs to dip drastically when targeting 120p. At 120p, it hovers around 720 and dips as low as 540. Who is playing? You talk about 120 frames per second. Who's playing at those resolutions? It's gonna look like fuzz.
It's gonna look like Minecraft. So what
the hell?
The thing is, the performance of they were able to get 60 FPS on the base Xbox One on Halo 5. Nobody's talking about this, but Halo 5 ran at 60. Now, They had to cut some corners. The resolution was dynamic, and it did drop pretty low. It didn't drop to 540p, but also the enemy's animations were half the frame rate. So if the enemy was too far away from you, they animated at 30 FPS. Dude. So they did have to cut some corners, but this should be a progression of what you had before, not a regression.
Yeah, that's what Frog was saying. Like, even the fact that Frog has a 1X, and he was like, the fact that it's only limited to 30 frames, like, are they not going to have a 60 frames per second mode on the 1X? Like, they abandoned that, dude. That shit, they abandoned that thing. But it's like, check out this amazing car. Yo, here's my car. Look at awesome. Yo, hey, look at the polish. Look at this car. And everybody talking about the 120 frames. Like, that's the car. Oh, look at this car. Ooh, And then you look and it has fucking square wheels. It's like, holy shit, wait a second. 540p 720. I don't give a shit how nice the car looks. It got square wheels. What is the handicap for 120 frames?
Did you see that screenshot of the game when it dropped to 540p on the Series S?
Jesus.
When Digital Foundry
what cost, dude?
Really bad.
It's not even worth it. That at that?
We haven't played at resolutions like that since the PS3, Xbox 360 generation.
And you know what those resolutions look like when you're playing on a 70-inch 4K TV? Like,
horrible,
dude. Like these TVs are bigger than ever. Maybe you get away with that resolution
on
a fucking phone.
That's a little higher than standard,
dude.
Definition.
Maybe on a phone screen it looks decent, but you're talking about people buying. I got a 70-inch OLED TV. Yeah, at what? It has the VRR and my ass and all this other stuff, and it's like, it's 725. At what cost? Oh, just to say it has 120 frames per second mode, like these resolutions, this S is like, if this was to be the the frame rate box, like, dude, like that thing is Jesus. People just talk about the 120 frames, but nobody wants to talk about the resolution it's dropping to. Trust me, 120, and you know what else too? It says targeting 120, and I always say this, like, if it's not at a steady 120 and it's targeting 120, but it's dropping from 120 to 100 to 115, you're gonna see that.
But you know what does?
VRR.
Digital Foundry said they showed the S actually kept 120 more consistently than the X.
Oh Jesus!
I mean, if you're running
that one goes at 1440.
You should be able to.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly.
I think that's why.
But you know what else is interesting? It's running at this, but all the game looked the way it did. It didn't look that great for it to get like, you would think that if it all that shit was toned down, like people say, this
should have ray tracing,
dude. It should be hitting these. It shouldn't be hitting these you shouldn't be hitting these resolutions with all this stuff turned down. Imagine when they start adding effects, or if they're going to add the rest of the graphics to the game to make it look like better than what it looks like. Like, are they going to hit these numbers too? Because you would think with everything turned down and not like, I don't know, man. It's hitting these numbers with this thing looking the way it is. I feel bad
for people who are going to have to play at 30, compete against people at 61 and 20. They're going to get mopped. If you have a
and then the dude's playing on phones too. Get the hell, the game wasn't a looker to be doing this thing. And then the other thing too is we're going to talk about this ray tracing stuff. They're like, for a company, and this is why people get ragged on this stuff. Like, for a company, Microsoft did this. For 2 years, talked about ray tracing and all this stuff and the 12 teraflops, Usa Machismo. Like, and the fact is that they're struggling so hard. They even demonstrated ray tracing in Minecraft, and that has still yet to come to the console.
Yeah,
this is how
and it was
crazy.
Running, but
it was running like at 10 frames, though. Like, obviously.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, I don't know if it's the engine. I don't know what's going on. But
we're going to Hellblade now.
Okay, Hellblade. I mean,
well, talking about ray tracing, because the only thing I'm seeing Ray is Ray Charles, because everybody's blind to the fact is that there's a goddamn there's no freaking ray tracing.
Where is it?
The only Ray on Xbox is Ray Charles. That's it.
I mean, I saw some videos and I saw some screenshots. And one video I saw, the game looked worse.
So let me get to the chart, dude. I have it right here. Grinders,
back and forth. Yes,
hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you're new here. We got over 90 people watching this friggin' show. Holy shit! Never mind. We got 102 views. Woo! Hit the sirens. Woo! Grinders. Man, I didn't even know. I thought we had we're huge. Huge. Anyway, hit the sirens. But anyway, we're going to talk about ray tracing and Ray Charles. Here we go. Here we go. This is what so Hellblade rolls out this thing. All right. This came out today. I'm going to get this. Shout out to all the grinders here. Hit that like button. Share it out. Awesome. Got to hit that thing. So this is what it is. So to calm down my voice because I don't want to lose my freaking voice here again. So they did this update to Hellblade. OG. You know, the game released in 2016, 2017. Like, when was it, 2017? So, and that was initially on the PlayStation. Then it came out later after Microsoft bought them. Or right before they bought them. Ninja Theory. So they went back and they said, hey, let's give it that Series S, the Series consoles polish. Let's update it for the Series edition. You know, they came out with a new trailer for it. Here we go. We'll show the trailer. You know, here it is. They got, she's back. And I'm going to say, this is nothing against the game. I really liked the game. You know, I enjoyed it. I loved what it did with the audio because, I'm an audio nut. I really liked this game when I played it, and I played it on PlayStation, and I kind of used it as like something that's like, well, why wasn't this on Xbox? Like this is on PlayStation. I had it, I played it before everybody came out. I remember this came out the same day as that Cliffy B game, and I bought both of them. What was that Cliffy B? Frog always wants it back. Frog, what was the one you want back all the time? Cliffy B's game. See?
Oh, you're talking about
what the hell was it?
First person shooter.
Yeah, that came out the same time as Hellblade. I remember they came out like the same day or like a month or so.
Oh, I'm trying to think of it. What was it called? Oh, I can see it.
But anyway, yeah.
Anyway, yeah, it had good characters.
Anyway,
it should have been free to play. Should have been
free to play. So anyway, so like I loved Hellblade. I thought it was great, and I played it when it first came out and I beat it. Awesome. So this has nothing to do with the game. This has to do with what's going on here. So they decided to take the game and give it the series update, optimize. Now optimize. Oh shit, it's right there. There, it came up right when on cue. My goodness, I'm so good at. I'm getting good.
Lawbreakers. Was it Lawbreakers?
Lawbreakers. There you go. That
okay.
came out at the same time. Optimized for Series S and Series X. Okay, so it's optimized. Came out with the trailer. Very nice. Very nice. Right. Then they rolled out what the update actually does on these most powerful consoles. The most powerful console, the Series Booster. We're not talking about freaking boosters there. But let me just get this up. I actually had. Oh, here it is. I have it right here. So So this is what a lot of no's here. So on the Series X, it runs performance. There's 3 modes: performance, resolution, and enriched. It says performance mode, it's running at 120 frames, dynamic up to 1080p, no ray tracing. Resolution mode.
Wait, dynamic up to 1080p?
Up to 1080p.
Oh, I thought it was 1080p. Okay.
That's for one. No. That's 120 hertz. Hold on. Bug. Kill the bug. Bug. Sorry.
Don't you hate when you get a fly in your house and you wonder how
it
gets in there? You're like, yeah, I hate that crap.
I got him. It's flying, annoying the hell out of me. Anyway, killing those bugs. I'm a bug. That's why I'm a beta tester. Kill the bugs. Anyway, so up to 1080p, 120 frames, no ray tracing. Resolution mode, no ray tracing. Dynamic up to 4K, 60 frames per second. Enriched, there's your ray tracing. Dynamic up to 4K, 30 frames per second. So we got no ray tracing with 60 frames or targeting 60 frames or 4K 60 or anything like that. Then on the Series S, on Booster, we got boosters in the house. Booster.
We got plenty of Turbo Man's faithful booster.
Booster. Performance mode. Now this is wild here. Performance mode, no ray tracing. It says resolution full HD, 60 frames per second. I don't know why it doesn't say 1080p. It just says full HD. So they just say, I don't know, full HD, I'm assuming it's 1080p, but it's funny that they say full HD. Resolution mode, no ray tracing. Dynamic, up to 1440p at 30 frames. And then enriched mode, so Booster gets some ray tracing and a full HD at 30 frames. Woof, that was a mouthful. So, so this is your...
Wait, do any of those play at
enhancements.
60 on booster?
Only in performance mode at 60 frames at full HD. Whereas
Oh,
on the
1080p.
Series X, it
Okay.
says dynamic up to 1080p, but they don't say dynamic up to 1080p. They just say full HD. So I'm assuming it's 1080p 60
Full
or
HD
1080p 30.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
Interesting.
But the crazy thing is that when you look at the ray tracing,
Not a big difference.
so on paper, there you go, and here is your ray tracing. So somebody start running side by sides here, and so ray tracing on and ray tracing off. You're talking about sacrificing your frames for ray tracing, half the frame rate. You go from 60 to 30 when you turn on ray tracing, and if you can't tell, I don't know what kind of full ray tracing this. Oh shit! Wait a second. Gerard says full HD is 720p.
No, full HD is 1080p.
I thought full HD is 1080p.
1080p.
I
It's
thought
not
just
720p.
HD is 720p.
HD
I don't
is
know. We'll find
720p.
out. I'm sure it'll roll around the internet.
Full HD is 1080p.
1080p. That's what I thought. And then 720p. But the thing is weird though. If it's 1080p, why don't they just say 1080p? Why would they say full HD and the other one says up to 1080p? Weird. I don't know. Maybe they don't want to put that 720p in there. Gerard, you might be. If you can find me a link to something, let me know. We got fill tracing. Yes, that's what this is. So this is the ray tracing. The big deal. They made such a big deal about it. Remember hardware-based ray tracing, but PlayStation has software-based. And now you got Hellblade getting this ray tracing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, full HD. I thought it was a 1080p. So we got side-by-side comparisons here. Let's get to something that's a little more. You're looking at reflections. Let me see. I guess it's a little green over here. Here we go. So you can see here's some ray tracing here. Again, it's the reflections. So like, see here? Here's some reflections in here. Here's the ray tracing, I guess. See, you can see some of the reflections of the trees in the water. If that's worth half a frame rate.
Wait, I got a question. I just thought about
Image
something.
quality is different too, though.
It
Yeah, I
is.
got
It's
a
lower.
big
On
question.
It's
the ray
very
tracing
washed.
on, it drops the resolution.
This is the first Hellblade. 'Cause
Oh
for some reason-
yes. Yeah.
Okay, so if this is the first Hellblade, this is only coming to Xbox, even though
Only and yeah, it skips the PlayStation.
because I know, if I'm not mistaken, Hellblade launched on PlayStation first, right?
Yes,
it did. Yeah, it did.
Oh, interesting. Oh,
It was
okay.
it was exclusive to PlayStation for a little bit.
So I'm
Right.
trying
I mean,
to
I
get this
beat
thing to
the-
run.
I beat the game. I don't care. It's kind of, I don't know. I guess because they own the company now. Because for some reason I thought we were talking about Hellblade 2 and I got excited, but I just realized
No.
this is Hellblade.
And then
But look-
so that was the content. That was the aspect of the ray tracing on and ray tracing off. The thing is that there's no new content in the game, no new
The
story elements.
colors look washed out in the ray tracing.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, because like this was the big one that was floating around on Twitter. This one right here, where they do the swipe. Where is it? I'm gonna let this thing run, but you could see when they do the swipe. Where is it? Yeah, the linear swipe comparison. So you can see with ray tracing on, it drops the frame rate by half. But here it is. So this is ray tracing off, and then ray tracing on. Look. It makes it milky. I don't understand it. Like, I guess it's more dynamic lighting, I guess. But I would prefer putting ray tracing
Yeah.
off because the image looks much sharper. Like, and even looking at the reflections, like there's not much reflecting in here. I guess the clouds, the sky is reflecting in the water here, whereas it's not doing it here.
It looks really washed out, and the resolution, even though it's supposedly running at dynamic 4K, it looks much lower.
Dude, I don't.
It doesn't.
Like,
they
It's just the thing is that like hardware-based ray tracing, 12 teraflops, like, and this is where I say half measures, and people are gonna go, well, how the hell are you gonna complain about free updates? And that's the next thing we're gonna talk about is these updates and all this other stuff. But this is what grinds my gears. Let me just get this thing out because this is what bothers me. Half measures. You're working on a Hellblade 2, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody knows this. You announced it already. You're working on a Hellblade 2. you decide to go back and do a proper enhancement for the next-gen consoles on Hellblade 1. Probably people that missed it. It's in Game Pass, so it's accessible. There you go. They don't add new content. They don't add new story elements. They don't add new environments. They don't add anything new. All they do is do the resolution, and they do some ray tracing on it, which seems like a very
I'll give them a
lacking thing.
pass. They're making a new game, so I wouldn't expect them to be adding anything to
But
this
make a
one.
definitive edition of this game and call it a day. Like, the fact is why do you just stop with this boost and not really build this franchise up and, add some stuff to the stuff that people played already? Maybe add some elements. Like, who's going to go back for this minor update? Like, look at this stuff. Like, you got a $500 brand new console, and
Honestly,
you got to do side-by-sides to look for some reflections.
They probably
Like-
put 1 or 2 devs on this thing for a couple days to do these little enhancements. And I mean, it doesn't look like anything they put a lot of work into. So they're working on a new game, and I get it. I wouldn't put
Their IP, dude.
resources.
It's
But I
their
wouldn't
IP.
But there's no reason to put resources and adding stuff to a game, to an old game now. I mean,
Especially
I
how
don't
old
see-
it is. I would think it would be great time to add some stuff to it.
why would they add something to this game when they're working on a new game? It doesn't make any sense.
First off, that new game I don't think is coming next year or anything like that.
But
So
you don't want to pull your team off to do that. I mean,
I would. If
to
I wanted
add
to make,
content
if
to an
I
old game
yes,
when you've already announced a
why?
sequel?
Look at what they're doing. Because this is where I'm going to go with this. The other thing is that people are saying, "Well, look at this free update, Hellblade. Sony's charging you $10 for your updates."
They
And
didn't even update the PlayStation version, so I mean,
well, the thing is that people are like, well, Sony's charging for updates. And people are like, but wait, it's like a new island. It's new. Even in Death Stranding, like it's basically new animation, new story elements, new things. And the thing is that this is Microsoft's IP now. If I was them, I would take this and make Senua basically a household name and trying to reintroduce her with this update with maybe some content, maybe something that links this, an addendum to this that kind of links you into maybe the start of the new game of Hellblade 2. I would just say, why? First off, how long they bought them in 2018? You're telling me in 2021 they couldn't get some a little extra stuff for this game to put in this game? Like they did bleeding ass and that's it? That's all they've been doing is bleeding ass and then taking vacation photos for Hellblade 2? Like,
They don't
this
care,
was announced in
man.
2019. You're telling
They
me that they have not done anything for this game, that they can't add anything? My thing is this is where where Microsoft does half measures, and it goes to exactly what we're talking about with Game Pass. If they want to try to resell this as a definitive edition, you can't sell this based off of this. This is just a boost. This is basically a slider on PC. Whoop. And people are like, well, they're not charging you. It's free. No shit, it's free. It looks free. This is the thing. It looks free. This is no new content. This is not a definitive edition. This would have been a perfect time to come out with a definitive edition Hellblade game with added content, proper implementation of ray tracing, really taking advantage of the teraflops, not kind of just like an overnight surprise patch that comes in here. And I know people be like, well, how you complain about a free update? The thing is that if you want Xbox fans, if you want IP, I just want Microsoft to show an appreciation for IP. They bastardize Halo. They kind of just throwing Halo out in the bushes. We'll figure it out as we go. And you have this other IP. You bought this studio. You got this IP with them. Make it something. This is a 2017 game.
You're saying
This
like
is the
Ghost
opportunity.
of Tsushima, Iki
Yes.
Island type of expansion.
Yes. Especially that you're making the sequel.
Okay, I guarantee you that Sucker Punch is working on their new game.
No, of course they are.
So I guess I can understand it. Now that I started thinking about it, I was like, well, this is supposed to be one of your marquee franchises now, so it should be getting the red carpet treatment. You know what I mean? So I get it.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, if you want, you want this IP, you bought this with this IP, you have a sequel. If no sequel was out there, you could say, okay, yeah, you just did some update to it. But this would have been a great opportunity for them to really show. And this is where I get frustrated with them because, like, they sent Halo out to die with Craig last year. And I scratch my head and going, if they're willing to do Halo this way, do my boy Craig and Master Chief that way, well, then how can I look forward to how they're going to properly roll out Fable and roll out all their other games? And if they're going to treat Halo this way and not like this red carpet treatment that this is our premier franchise, how can I expect them to do this? And this is evidence of this. This is something where they could have done this and really made this something. And add content, add some new moves, add an enemy, add some story elements, add to this stuff. And charge $10, and put it in Game Pass. Like, who cares? But all you did was just change the sliders and implement ray tracing in a game that's from 2017.
There's some half-ass ray tracing.
It's half-ass ray tracing.
Like,
you want to see something, Grinders? I'm going to show you some friggin' ray tracing.
If you showed me side by side and didn't tell me that the other one had ray tracing, I would have just thought that you were playing a lower quality version on the right. I wouldn't.
And know what else? How about if I talked up ray tracing for over a year and a half?
Yes.
And said it's hardware. This is hardware ray tracing. Really? This is hardware ray tracing? Well, I'm going to show you what the software. Remember the PS5? It has software ray tracing. Oh, here's some software ray tracing for you right here. You could see. Look at this. There you go. Do you need to zoom in for this? Here's a screenshot. I'm not no Digital Foundry, and I don't think it's going to work because it's a stupid zoom. But look, you could see the reflection. What's her name? Rivet? No, it's not. It is Rivet. But the Lucy. What is the thing? Lucy or whatever it is. Look at the reflection in the bolt. This bolt is a pickup. This is something when you kill somebody, this bolt is floating around. It has a reflection. And I didn't even know this. Like, I was just moving the camera around to get a cool shot. You didn't know the bolts had ray tracing? No, I didn't do this shot with that intent. Instead, what I was doing was trying to get an over-the-shoulder shot of her, and I was like, wait a second. Look at the reflection inside of this. And it's like, holy, like, look at, like, you could see that ray tracing, just because it's reflections, the main thing with ray tracing is that it gives detail to the environment to show realistic like textures. So like when you look at this visor, it doesn't look like it looks like it's a reflective piece of glass reflecting the environment. The fact is that it adds to the realistic look of the items. So the items look like they're behaving in real life. And that's what's so incredible about this. But this is software ray tracing.
It's the talent. I was gonna say, I think the talented the Sony just has more talented developers, I think, than Microsoft. I don't really say, like, Microsoft has a lot of studios, right? But I still think, even with all their studios, I still think Sony and Nintendo have way more talented developers than most of Microsoft developers, and that's not trying to take anything away from other than, they can probably create some good games, but I don't ever look at the Microsoft, and I try not to look at the Xbox games that come on the same level as like the PlayStation, because if I do, I'm going to be disappointed. So I just look at certain Microsoft teams. I'm like, okay, these guys are good. These guys are good. They have like 3, I can say, that are pretty solid as far as the way they make their games look. But then like the rest of them are kind of like,
but the problem is
whatever.
The problem is Microsoft and their messaging, as well as
that's the problem. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Ambassadors and all these other people that hype up all these teraflops and hardware-based DirectX 12 ray tracing.
RDNA 1.5, right? Who said
RDNA, full RDNA 2.
Full RDNA.
All this stuff. When Sony, let me tell you something. When Sony did the road to PlayStation and had Mark Cerny on that stage talking about the specs of the PlayStation, he said the PlayStation has hardware-accelerated ray tracing, but he didn't harp on it. He said it's there. Devs can decide to use it or not. It wasn't this big thing that they just focused on and all these buzzwords that they just put out there, and the influencers and all these other people continuously spewing all this stuff, but we're not getting the results on their platform. We're not seeing what this hardware is capable of doing. They talk up all this stuff, and then we've yet to really see it truly live up to. They're hyping it up, but they're not delivering with the games. You know what I mean?
Well,
And
yeah,
so
for
you
2
can't-
years,
you
dude. A
can't-
year and a half. We talked about ray tracing. We had Project Anaconda, bitch, whatever the hell it was called. It was like we had project names, and they're like, this doesn't have like full hardware ray tracing. Like, I remember, like, I didn't care about ray tracing. I'm like, why are we talking about this thing if it drops your performance so much? Like, and the implementations of it. Then they'll show you that Minecraft thing, which has yet to come to the most powerful console in the world. And then you look, and it's like basically, you know, they're taking some of their games, and this is probably their best looking game that they have right now in their arsenal.
This is a first-party studio.
And now it's a first-party studio. You give it that first-party love. And instead, they do a surprise overnight patch. And all I see on Twitter, is that it's free. And they turn it into a Ghost of Tsushima versus Hellblade free updates. Like, are you kidding me? How can you be enticed? Like, this looks horrible. No new content. Nothing.
When you see games like Ratchet with
look at this. This is
and
my photo mode.
60 FPS.
Look, when you see games like Ratchet with
and yes, ray tracing performance they got on both Spider-Man and this.
It's not impossible to do it. It's just the development talent.
Exactly.
It's not impossible.
And look at Spider-Man Miles Morales with ray tracing performance. That's a cross-gen game.
Right. And
Ratchet's not even. It's a full next-gen. Let's do a cross-gen game.
They went back and updated Ratchet and Miles Morales and improved the ray tracing reflection.
Yes.
They actually, because they were running that, I don't know if it was quarter res or half res. But actually they went back and made the reflections checkerboard to the same resolution of the image. They improved it. It's clearly dev talent. It's
investment in time. The thing is that it's investment in time, and it's what they find valuable and stuff. And that's where it gets me, because people, I would be like, you know, why take your best franchise and do half-ass with it? You know what I mean? Like, why, if you're gonna really do this, if you were sitting at the table of Ninja Theory and they're like, yo, we're gonna enhance Hellblade, and you know Hellblade 2 is coming out. You talked ray tracing for over 2 years. Wouldn't you, as Phil goddamn Spencer, who loves gamers, gives you the Philness, rubs your shoulders, does all the bullshit, wouldn't you sit there and go, you know what, Ninja Theory, this would be a great opportunity for you to demonstrate a sneak peek as to what Hellblade 2 could possibly do, and let's enhance Hellblade 1. Let's get that out there. This is Senua now is going to be our IP. Let's take this and let's add some story content so we could, you know, people may have forgot the story and stuff. Let's add some refresher so everybody will go back and want to play it. And let's add, you know, let's show some demonstration of the 12 teraflops that we talked about and hyped up with the Series X. You know, let's do that. And let's really make this like the game of the year, a definitive edition or developers edition, whatever the hell you want to call it, of one of our IPs. If Phil cares about the gamers, why isn't that conversation happening? Why is it some sort of like some bullshit like, oh yeah, we up the res, it's optimized. See, the thing is you get a difference, and this is going to lead us into the charging and all this other stuff. You're getting just sliders, optimized things. There's no kind of console generational update for these games. It's just getting a tweak and saying that it's optimized for the series consoles, where Sony is actually giving you a PlayStation 5 version of the game that takes more things into account than just resolution and frame rates. And they add more things to this stuff. In addition, they're adding content to the game to that, in addition to adding those features. People say they're charging for it and all this other stuff. But why? You have to scratch your head and go, hey, we were hyped when Ninja Theory was purchased. Senua is now an Xbox IP. You think she deserves this half-ass update, even if it's free? You think that this is what they should do? Oh, they're working on 2. All the excuses. Don't you think this would have been a great opportunity? Because Hellblade 2 doesn't sound like it's coming out in the spring of next year. This would have been great to reintroduce this right now. Especially people are pissed off. You talked Hellblade 2 in 2019 and have yet to show anything about it, and now in 2021. And this is what your franchise, because this shows the effort. And is this the Game Pass effort that we were talking about? It's in Game Pass. They don't have to sell this to you. This is just an optimized for the next gen. All this is doing, they're going like, hey, yeah, you see now the stronger hardware. Ship the patch. Where's the appreciation for the IP?
But
and
see,
that's something they don't have.
The thing about it is with the whole Ghost of Tsushima. I mean, yeah, you know, they went back and updated the unlock the frame rate for the game, but they're actually giving you new content. And yeah, you have to pay for it, but they're giving you the content is worth the price to go back and revisit.
It's about a 30-hour campaign.
I don't see anybody wanting to go back and play this game just for this fucking this shit.
That's the other point, Link. The thing is that and exactly what are you gonna do? You're gonna turn on Hellblade, download the patch, take a screenshot or two, going, "Oh yeah, they did it," and then you're gonna turn it off, right? The combat's still the same. They didn't add anything to it. They didn't add any more story elements, maybe some Easter eggs to get you teasing Hellblade 2. Like, this is the kind of stuff you would expect as a console gamer and even as an Xbox fan. You would expect this kind of stuff as a gamer because they're trying to introduce this franchise, trying to introduce this character. You think Sony's investing this stuff in Ghost of Tsushima because they're going to let it die? Dude, they're throwing more money at this game to get people who haven't played it last year. And how the hell do they take this game that released last year, give it a multiplayer mode and 2 months later, and now add a brand new island that adds about 15, 20 hours of content in less than a year later? And Hellblade, sitting there since 2017, doesn't even get a goddamn Easter egg. It gets a little bit of frame rate boost and some resolution and some fill tracing. Tell me, you said talent of the devs, but also the backing of Sony. Where is Microsoft's support for Ninja Theory? Like, they have, it's not like they've been pumping out games over the last 2 years. They made Bleeding Ass. They canceled that in less than a year. They're making some sort of stair simulator. They haven't been pumping games out. Why wouldn't you do a Hellblade edition and do that? Like, why? And instead of people questioning that, going, Phil, this is our franchise. You bought these studios. Rob, we're all Xbox fans. We're ready, Phil. Oh, this is what you do to Senua? Like, to get us hyped for Hellblade 2? Like this is what you just gonna just give a res boost? Like, that's it? Oh, but it's free, and they're running around going, it's free. The game has been out there for 4 years.
People who didn't play that game have no intention of playing that game now. Like, I don't understand. Like, you know, I don't get it, man. Like, people need to stop acting like they're excited about stuff they're really not. And that's what I kind of
that happens too. I know.
Because it's a console war thing. It's not even.
It's more about that shit than really gaming. That's the thing that pisses me off so much.
I got the game day one and played it. Like,
I
didn't have to wait for Microsoft or Sony to buy the studio for it to get all this. Like, I played it and I enjoyed what it was. Why can't people just play the games and enjoy what they are?
There are people.
I don't get it.
There are people.
It's more about $10, like $10 and free.
There are people who
it looks free, dude.
The there are people who didn't like the game, and then now that the studio's owned by Microsoft.
Now it's on their radar, basically. Now it's on their radar. Now I care about Bethesda's and everybody else. Now it's on their radar because Microsoft owns them. But you don't, and this is the thing. You could go, Frog, you could go so far to say Microsoft cashed a check and bought them. But it's really, and everybody's been, and this is the thing that grinds my gears again. This is the thing that people have been celebrating since 2018. The fact that Microsoft cut the check and bought these studios. But whenever you say, well, what does it matter to us? What's the content that's coming to us? What's the IP? Oh, it's coming. But you are celebrating that the fact that the richest company bought somebody, but you don't care about what is that going to matter to you as a gamer. Now, I sit here and go, you bought Ninja Theory. You have Hellblade. This is your IP now. It's great you're making a sequel. Don't you think that the first game since 2017 should probably get some sort of, like, enhanced edition, like, you know, instead of just doing like some resin lazy ass ray tracing, fill tracing to that shit.
Right.
There's a game. These games came out less than that 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and they're getting all this extra content.
But you know,
in addition
Jez,
to that,
I'm the kind of person, like, if I see a game and I want it, like, for instance, Hades, like, that's something I wanted to play. I have a Switch, but, you know, I was like, you know what? I know it's coming up on consoles. So I'm like, I had a Switch, and I was like, I had a chance to buy it, but I knew it was coming to other consoles. So I was like, you know, when I heard it was coming to Game Pass, I was like, oh, if it's only come on an Xbox, I guess that's, you know, where I end up playing it. And then when I heard, oh, it's coming everywhere, I was like, well, I'm gonna play where I prefer to play my games. Where I can't be mad at somebody that wants to play their games that prefer a place to play. But a game like, you know, like what's that game that everybody's playing right now on Xbox with the crow, with the kind of like Souls kind of game?
Death's Door.
Death's Door. Like, I actually want to play that game. I thought about buying it a couple of times, but, you know, I heard developers say, yeah, it will come to other platforms. So I'm like, oh, okay. So can I fault if Microsoft, if Xbox is not my primary place to play games, and I know it's going to come to PlayStation, I can just wait, but I'm still going to support the game. I mean, some people will say, well, if it's a good game, why don't you just buy it? You know, if you have an Xbox, I'm like, well, because it's coming up my platform of choice that I want to play it on. If it was never coming there, then I just buy it on Xbox. You know, and I think
like people making fun of this, dude. Like, I'm looking at this thing. Like, look at they have new melee animations. They have new guns, new elements, more story to it. Like this, and people are saying, well, you got to pay $10, the PlayStation tax. It's like, do you see? Like, do you see? But you guys are celebrating that the fact that they bought a company, but the content coming out of the things that they bought is lackluster. Whenever they come out with content, the rest of the content you're just waiting for. So, like, the thing is this is where I always talked about Insomniac. It's like Sony bought Insomniac, and look at what we got since they bought them in 2019. After Spider-Man, we got Miles Morales and Ratchet and Clank. Like, that is, like, awesome. So when Sony buys somebody now, I'm like, oh, shit. Like, you know, when you see them buy House Mark, you're like, oh, shit. Like, you know what I mean? Look at what is output of Insomniac from when Sony bought them. So how can you get excited? You just keep going and saying, I want Microsoft to buy more. Why? They're buying everybody. It's like they're buying the ingredients, but they don't have a fucking kitchen to cook anything. Like, but meanwhile, when they finally come out with something, it's free. It's okay. It's free. It's free.
They don't have, like you said, they don't have this. They don't have the chefs in their kitchen to cook.
It is.
You know, so I mean, it is what it is, and it's unfortunate.
You're getting a lot of new content with these so-called paid upgrades.
These are my photos.
But you just the level of disingenuous. A lot of these claims and a lot of these issues that people have, they're being very disingenuous because they're calling out PlayStation, but then Xbox is not giving you anything. And other than what is it? FPS boost.
Oh, FPS boost.
And
they're hyping up FPS boost. But meanwhile, they should be adding content. Like, I understand when third party and they're doing FPS boost, that's fine. But when you're looking at Hellblade deserved a lot more than what it got.
You're not trying to sell it.
Exactly.
So there's no reason to add any more
point.
content to it.
There's
no reason to add any more content. You're not trying to sell it.
Half measures. There it is.
You're not trying to sell this to anybody else. You're just trying to maybe bring a little bit more awareness to it by saying there's an update because it's already in Game Pass.
Exactly. And what's the end of Ghost of Tsushima? Look, pre-order now. You know, they're trying to sell you something. But this is bad, though. This is anti-consumer. The fact that they only updated Hellblade and didn't put in the PS5, that's cool, man. That's the console war. That's cool. That's Phil being Phil, right? But, you know, Sony doing this is anti-consumer.
Let me tell you something. They're doing exactly what they said they were going to do. They didn't lie to you. They said they want to make sure their games play first, better, or best on their console.
Yep. And that's fine. Let them do what stuff is. I don't give a shit.
Their first-party studio, they got the right to do whatever they want to do.
Dude, this is what they think of you, though. This is what they think of you. Half-ass ray tracing and some res bump, full HD, and whatever the hell they're doing. Like,
right. But if the
no new
game is going to be that
content.
washed out and blurry, I would not play it with ray tracing if it's going to look like that.
Yeah. But see, this is the thing that, and this is the final point on this whole thing, is that what you're getting here is exactly what it says, optimize. So you got to think about just a PC that's getting, you have basically a slider, and you increase in the slider, and there's your next generation experience. See, this is the thing that another, this is grinds my gears all the time here, but this is the thing, right? People just talk about resolution and stuff like that, right? Yeah, enriched visuals with DirectX ray tracing. They even put their goddamn DirectX in front of that shit, right? But this is the thing, right? Sony, in addition to doing that, they're adding DualSense support. They're adding adaptive triggers. They're adding that 3D audio. And guess what? Know what's hilarious is that apparently those things are that is the definition of what a PS5 feature is, right? The Xbox played it safe. They didn't add anything of next generation. That was one of the things that we complained about, was the fact that Microsoft just added a share button and called it a day. They got the same UI sitting at 1080p. The screen sharing is the same slack-ass bullshit. They never updated anything with video sharing or video editing. They did nothing. And then this is the thing, right? Sony updated all that stuff, their UI. They added adaptive controllers. They added 3D audio sound. They added all this stuff to the controller. But, oh, no, that don't count. Like, that's they shouldn't be charging for that. They're giving you a PS5 version you are buying a PS5 version of the game, a next generation experience, all right? And if you want to call those features bullshit, well, you are the same people that are spending $150 to $200 on a fucking Elite controller because of adaptive because of hair triggers. So for you people buying controllers that cost $200 fucking dollars and saying, well, those are gimmicks on the DualSense. Well, who the fuck bought an Elite controller? $150 for it. It didn't even drop the price of the old ass one. They still didn't even put a fucking share button on the goddamn Elite controller. That's how they finessed you so much. They're selling you a $200 controller that's still last gen. They didn't even put the new button on it. They're waiting to fuck you again for $150. But the DualSense, though, is a gimmick. But the Elite controller is not. That shit falls apart in your hand like goddamn tissue paper.
Look, the effort that Microsoft is putting forward shows that they're not trying to push gaming further. Yes, they're spending money on studios, but I mean, when you look at the console, I mean, like all the stuff you name, I mean, even they put an SSD in the Xbox, but it's not, they didn't go above and beyond with the innovation with the hardware. And on top of that, you're not even giving us any new software to play.
No shit.
You know what I mean? It's like,
but $10 though.
What are you?
$10.
What are you doing? What are you?
Fuck
what? It's concerning, and Hellblade,
play it with Game Pass.
Title, and Ninja Theory, I think, is a talented studio, and with the funding, I really do believe that this next game will be even better. But who knows when we're going to get it. This is not worth it. So, there doesn't seem to be, almost like their studios don't even seem to be that pressed to put anything out.
No, they're not, because they're buying. It's all about no crunch and brunch. That's exactly what they're doing. But the thing is that, like, I just don't understand this whole, like, backwards compatibility versus a next generation update. You have a next generation, and in addition to a next generation update, you are also getting new content. All right? So when you say, like, when somebody says it's free, do you immediately go face first and say, okay, yeah, nobody scratches their head going, I wonder why it's free? When somebody says free sample, you're like, oh shit, it's either going to be trash or it's going to be something really, like, nobody questions about, like, why something is free. That looks free. All right? So to champion that and go, we get it free, but you got to pay $10. But for features on a controller, well, you pay $150, $200 for an Elite controller. I saw people rubbing their fucking nipples when Phil says, here's $200 for an Elite 2 controller. And they didn't even drop the price of the other one. Rubbing fucking nipples. because of the goddamn Elite controller, but the DualSense is a fucking scam. The features of the DualSense is that controller, nah. But the Elite controller, though, I'll buy 2 of those, send it to me in red and black and midnight blue.
I guarantee.
Oh, and let me buy Dolby Atmos too, because you know what? That 3D audio on the PlayStation, that's some horseshit too. That should not be a next-gen feature. You know what? Let me buy my Dolby Atmos fucking license. Oh, really? Or buy Xbox headsets, $500, $300 headsets that they have for fucking Harman Kardon. What the hell they have them for?
Their level of commitment to controllers.
All that shit.
They can put out controllers now.
You can make your own Elite controller, 5 different colors. But the DualSense, the features and the capabilities on that, nah. No, that's gimmicks. Nah. Do you understand backwards compatibility versus next generation? This is the point. The Xbox Series console is not a generation console. It is not. It is a fucking backwards compatible machine. That's all with a jacked up goddamn 12 teraflops. It's all it is. So therefore, everything you're getting is an incremental bitch ass update. It's a little boost.
It's got less backwards compatible games.
It's just optimized. Dude, it's optimized. Yeah. There is no next gen feature set of the Xbox. And that's the problem since they announced this fucking thing.
What do you mean? It's got VRR?
Oh, okay. We got VR. Okay, there it is. There it is. VRR. You got it. That's a huge feature set. Do they have it in this game? I guess it's running every game. VRR.
Wait, you got quick resume.
Quick resume. There you go. ADD Gaming. There you go. Yo, what's up, Big Cloud? Congrats on the 10,000 subs. Trying to get the 1,000 in the Grindhouse, but congrats, man. Hit the 10,000 sub club. See, but you even see the words. Like, they can't even say, like, Series S and X edition. They go optimized for the Series X. So they can't even kind of resell it. They can't even sell Hellblade going, this is the Series
They have all these
edition.
buzzwords, man.
Optimized. Yeah, this is optimized. Mm-hmm. And it's free. But you want to know what? Good on them. But you want to know what? I want to know how many people can go back and beat it now, because now they added a couple of reflections in this DirectX fill tracing that they got going on here. Meanwhile, I'm taking pictures of reflections and goddamn bolts in Ratchet and Clank and Spider-Man reflecting off the wall. It's 60 frames per second ray tracing performance. But remember, PlayStation has like what, last gen RDNA and
RDNA 1.5.
1.5 they got software based
overclock.
Exactly. Oh my god, it's trash. Fucking trash. Mm-hmm. It got this old ass ray tracing that's software based. You know, Xbox has it direct in the chip. This is DirectX ray tracing. Yeah. They can't even ship you fucking Minecraft ray tracing on the Xbox. It's so special. Like, that doesn't even make it to the console. You want to know what? It's more nothing. I'm done. I'm fucking done. I'm ready for the next fucking topic.
Yeah, let's go.
I'm done. I'm done with this shit. Look at that. This dopey still talking on this thing. Look at this. But yeah, these are my photographs from Ratchet and Clank. Like, look at this shit. But no, this is Xbox's year, dude. This is Xbox. Like, Xbox doesn't have a banger of a year. Like, well, you know, why? What happened? Did we forget about this? Like, this gets forgotten about? Halo's gonna be Game of the Year? Huh? Halo gonna be Game of the Year? All assets turned off. They had no fucking explosion. Everything was this is the targets that they were hitting. Halo was gonna come in hot, dude. Oh, and one other thing on this $10 upgrade shit. Yeah. So here you go. So to think that it's only Sony doing these $10 updates, Wreckfest, right? And remember, we got this in PlayStation Plus, right? Wreckfest, $10. This, and you already see running. As a PS5 owner, I won't be paying $10 for the upgrade. It's free on Xbox gamers. And THQ Nordic goes, the Series S and X will receive a similar paid version later this year. The current upgrade on Xbox enables 4K and 60 frames per second if it detects the Series X. So it's enhanced backwards compatibility. So somebody goes to Frank, he goes here, so why would anybody pay $10 if they're already getting 4K 60 frames? THQ Nordic says, we can't talk about details, but it will be more than just increased resolution and frames per second. That's why they're charging for it. But if you don't want to buy it, you don't have to. We could try the more appealing price of free for current owners, but that would be silly, of course. THQ Nordic starts dropping the hammer. They go, we charge for upgrades to support the devs that spent the last weeks on adding new technology and improvements. Feel free not to buy the PS5 version. Just be aware they put a lot of work into it, and $10 is a fair price. You just want to pay your devs more then. THQ Nordic dropping the finesse again. That's exactly what we'll do the $10 for. To pay all the people involved in current gen version of the game.
Do these guys want to pay for anything other than controllers?
Do
they want to buy
buy 4 controllers. Midnight Blue. Sneaker White. But the thing is like, people are like, well, you already updated my game. Why am I paying $10? Because they added more people in multiplayer. They added more effects. The problem is that because the Xbox doesn't have any next generation features, there is not much they can do to upgrade a game, a cross-gen game to the Xbox. It just says optimize. It just runs maybe better at different resolutions because of the more powerful. There is nothing left. Whereas the PlayStation is a next generation platform that has hardware differences. It has hardware differences. Their SSD is different. Their controller is different. Their UI, their COD system. There are different things that make a game a PlayStation 5 game and not a backwards compatible PlayStation 4 game. Do you understand that? There is a generational difference in hardware and technology with the PS5 that the Xbox decided to just be just mid. We're just going to add resolutions. We're going to add power. We're going to make this shit, and we're just going to make this kind of like a mid. The Xbox is more of a mid-gen. It's a refresh. It's a mid-gen refresh. It's a cell phone. It's the iPhone 10 versus the iPhone 11, where the PlayStation is goddamn iPhone 10, PlayStation 4 to the iPhone 13. Like, it is a generational. It's different. So when you get games that take advantage of the next generation hardware feature set, not just resolution, but the feature set, that's a PS5 game. And it's packaged as such. That's why there's a PS5 version and a PS4 version. Meanwhile, you look at Hellblade, they're already saying like, well, where's the disc version of the Series X? And they go, oh, it's going to take time. So all you're doing now, they're selling you the series, the old version that gets a patch that says, hey, there's more power in this console. Do something with it. And that's smart delivery. That's what that is. So this whole $10 upgrade fee, the thing is that it does exist on Xbox. And Xbox, I wish they would put $10 worth of content in a goddamn game so people will go play it again. But by doing just kind of like a res bump and some DirectX lazy-ass fill tracing to your franchise that you're going to build a sequel to, where is your mindset? Where is your effort? Like, dude, you should be building this franchise up to make Hellblade 2 big. And instead,
all you got to do
lazy-ass
is
shit.
Look at, you said their effort, where's their mindset?
But Phil's the best, though.
Look at Halo. That's all you need to do.
That's what I mean. Look at Halo. Look what they did to it. They didn't give a shit showing Craig and Halo looking like that would pop in. That's your best franchise, and you show it like that. This is why I go, if they show Halo like that, that's it, dude. It's bullshit. And the thing is that I'm amazed at Xbox fans just don't even just go like enough of this console
because
bullshit. Enough of Phil
everything.
Spencer is the best thing in sliced bread. Like, look at what you're saying. Look at what you're celebrating. You know, it was hilarious is that I saw the whole trend go from like free updates to celebrating ray tracing to now people showing what the ray tracing really looks like, and now they went back into their hole. Well, like, you can't legitimately celebrate anything. Like, that's why sometimes I'm just like, let it burn. Because Xbox is in the bad direction right now. They're gonna trip over themselves. They're like coming out for friggin' basically like what is it, like Miss America coming out, and they're gonna trip over their feet and fall flat on their face because right now the leadership and the talent that they have right now, they don't know what to do with it.
They don't want to. They want to talk about a $10 upgrade, but they don't want to talk about the egregious microtransactions in this flight sim. The thing
shit.
is,
I didn't hear,
thing
yeah,
is,
the airports.
the airports. The thing is, like, if you're gonna just blindly defend anything a corporation does, good, bad, or whatever, and no matter what they do, you're gonna find the good. You're gonna find a way to spin it. Like at some point, it's like, what? I mean, why would they do anything differently? You're gonna defend it anyway.
Yeah. Well, I know. And you know what's interesting is that they and the reason why too it gets ragged on a lot is because they talk so much tech and so much capability of a machine. Meanwhile, they have nothing coming from their studios to demonstrate this. And not even third party is really showing a major difference of this tech that they spoke about with the Xbox Series consoles versus the PlayStation that we heard for over a year and a half. Sony was afraid and all this other stuff. To now see where the rubber hits the road and the differences are not even incremental.
Honestly,
and it should be that way.
Honestly, Microsoft's strategy of this weaker console and this more powerful console, I really do feel like is hampering their development because
they're gonna build. They're gonna send you. I'm telling you. They're gonna start talking another console. They already did. They already talked a new console this year at E3. They're like, oh yeah, we're still making consoles. I bet you next year they're gonna have a project name for that console. It releases in 2 years from now. Another console.
Look at Halo. The only thing that's really different about the Series X version is the resolution. It doesn't really seem like there's a huge difference between the Xbox One version of the game and the Series X version.
Yeah, and look what they did to the One X, man. They cut that thing off like a fucking appendix.
Mm-hmm.
3 years, they're like, oh, we're done. Like, I even saw somebody post, like, and I don't know if Frogs even attested this. Like, I heard that they really have even stopped kind of making things for the One X. Like, it's really just gone the Series S. Like, the Series S.
They did discontinue it.
They discontinued it real quick. So, like, my thing is that after hyping that thing up for a year and a half before that thing launched, then it launched with no games, and they really never had a demonstration of the power and the capabilities of it. They cut the appendix off. What makes you think they're not going to do this to the Series consoles? In another year or two, yep, cut it off, and then we're going to take Hellblade, and we're going to give you optimized for the Series SS, the Series
Think
X2.
About the Xbox One X owner that bought the Xbox One X, right, was promised all these different things. They're playing Halo 5, 4K 60, and then they upgrade to Halo Infinite, and they got to go back to 30 FPS.
And go at a lower resolution after they've been sold that 1X 4K, dated 4K. Remember,
damn
it's
game
a monster.
running like 1080p.
And now you go to a 1S, and it's like a Series S, and it's like.
And that would be acceptable if there was some kind of. It would be acceptable if there was some kind of huge visual showpiece, and there was this huge difference between the visuals.
This would have been a perfect game to do that with, especially. You haven't come out with anything at all. Like, this is the other thing. Like, why wasn't something like this getting ready for the launch? Hey, we're doing the Series S, the Series X console. Let's get Hellblade. Let's make a definitive edition. Let's add some content. Let's give it, like, a brand. Like, let's give it a new coat of paint and get ready as we do Hellblade 2. Like, you have all the money in the world, right? They're the richest company in the world. They're dropping billions at the doorsteps. They can't tell Ninja Theory, hey, here's a few $1 million. Go make Hellblade 2 Definitive Edition the right way, and let's ship it with the new consoles. Let's do that. Instead, they flip a switch. They make it seem more. It's lazy. And this is your IP. This is not a third-party game. This is your IP that you're making a sequel to. And people just like, it's free. Okay, it's fine. But, like, you could do something more with it. Like, show some respect for your IP. And I think that's the biggest problem I have with them. There's no confidence and respect for their IP. If they put out a product that has their IP now on it, there should be a level of expectations. And when I saw Halo looking like that, I knew that I guess everything's out the window now. because there needs to be it has to be shown. There's PR. It has to be shown in such a way. If Mario has a friggin' mustache flipped up the wrong way, Nintendo's coming down on your ass. All right? Mario got to look with his mustache got to be the same way, because there's an expectation of what their IP represents. Okay? And I guess that went out with Game Pass. Baby with the bad.
Could you imagine Sony showing off a game like God of War that way?
No, man. Yeah, well, pop in and all that other stuff. Like, no way. Look at how they showed Horizon.
Look at Craig,
Forbidden West, dude. Yeah.
I mean, you got the what? I don't even.
Look
know
how they showed Returnal, dude. Look how much video production and stuff they showed in Returnal, a game that was their first IP. That how they tried to show that game. They showed that game. They made sure that they had trailers, they had insider stuff. That game had polish.
But Sony's not just talking; they're putting the product out there in people's hands. Yes,
that's right. Well, and that's the thing. We're going to talk about the Gamescom stuff. So, going right into this, we're just gonna talk a quick Gamescom. We're gonna have a grind. We're gonna go right to the Grindstable here with this one. Shout out to everybody. Hit that like button. Share it out. We're gonna be going to the table. Talk about Gamescom. Let's go. We're gonna do that right now. Boom. All right, I think this is... Oh, that's my siren thing. I don't know where the hell my thing is. Well, anyway. Grindstable. So, this whole thing here, we got here. It's pride in your property. That's right, Neil. That's right. Some of these chats. Let's read some of them. Halo Infinite's Xbox One is 30 frames and 1080p. Oh, shit. Microsoft doesn't have the pride in its product anymore. Yeah. Game Pass, it has to be free. This expectation. Let's see how Forza. And that's why I did shit, shout out about the Forza. Like, that's why when they showed Forza, there was some sort of confidence. There was some polish in it. Now, yes, and they just showed the map to Forza Horizon. And I saw Mooch was funny. He's like, I hope it's not another festival. It'll probably be a festival. But, like, the thing is like, there's some polish to Forza. Like, there's some confidence there with their Forza franchise that they don't have anymore with anything else. And, I saw this even with CFDs. They weren't confident in it. Bleeding ass, drop it out there. Passion project, excuses. Grounded, put it in beta. Even Gears. They didn't even show the campaign for Gears 5 until Ninja streamed it. Halo, put behind closed doors. They didn't even show the campaign anymore a year later. Where's the lead up to Halo campaign and the story? We don't even have a release date with Halo. We're in August right now. Okay? This game was delayed last year. All right? People talking about Horizon delay. We saw more gameplay with Horizon and it looked incredible compared to what we saw with Halo. And Halo was delayed. So, and that's why when people go Horizon gets delayed. Remember Last of Us was delayed? But when you see the gameplay and see that game and you're like, yo, that game looks great. Delays, okay, yeah, it sucks. But, like, you're not, like, scratching your head going, what's wrong with it? But when you see a Halo delay and you see Craig with no goddamn chest hair, and then you go, wow, that game looks like shit. And you go, no, it's all right. Well, you know what? It does look like shit. We're delaying it a year. Now you go, oh, shit, that game, what's going on with that? That's a different type of delay. But anyway, talking about Xbox, they're very boastful. And our good friend, Aaron, day one on Game Pass, Greenberg, that's what he calls himself, self-proclaimed, day one, that's his name. We're not capping here. This is his name. Aaron, quote, day one on Game Pass, Greenberg. Day one, good game. Day one, high quality. Day one, who gives a fuck? Whatever you want to call it. But it's day one. That's all that matters. I'll take a shit on your doorstep, day one. Hey, day one, you get the shit right out the ass. Day one, can't complain. That's free. I'll do it for free, too. Nice fresh shit, day one. Not a 2-day shit, not a month-old shit. Day one. That's all that matters. This is day one. Day one shit. Day one good. Who cares? It's day one. That's all that matters now. But anyway, we're going to Gamescom. We're going to Gamescom. Woo! Woo! We gave you E3. Now we're going to Gamescom. And here's his tweet. Join us digitally Gamescom this year. Our Xbox stream is focused on game updates coming this year. So set expectations. No new reveals or major surprises. But the team is a fun stream planned with our amazing host, Paris and Kate Eager. More here. Okay. There you go. Set expectations.
Why do they have to continuously? And Sony does this. Now, they did it with their last show.
Yep, they did.
But Microsoft continuously makes sure that they lower your expectations. There's never any surprises.
All you're gonna see is a jerk off fest for Game Pass, like and talk about, and maybe they'll tease some bullshit Halo, maybe the next flight or something like that. But you'll watch that. But the thing, and I know Sony does it too. But the thing is that Xbox can't afford to do this, and you want to know
they haven't delivered anything.
They haven't delivered anything. Exactly. That's the thing. Like, you haven't delivered anything. But you want to know what? You see this quote here? Expect this quote for the next 2 years. Because they showed you everything they need to show you from their first party. Maybe a surprise would be a partnership or something like that. Or a studio. But everything that they got working, they told you, all their studios. You know Perfect Dark is being made. You know Fable's being made. You know Avowed's being made. Outer Worlds 2 is being made. You know the Hellblade 2 is being made. They told you everything. State of Decay is being made. Halo Infinite,
Skip Thief DLC.
Forza is coming out. They told you everything already. So new reveals from who?
Exactly.
So expect to see. This is it. That's why I said this is an issue with what they're doing, because they showed you the next shit for the next 4 or 5 years, and now they got to carry this kind of torch with them for the next 2 to 3 years to try to keep you even giving a shit. They announced Hellblade 2 years ago. And that's why I said this would have been a great opportunity to get that excitement back for Hellblade with remastering or redoing that one, instead of just giving an optimized coat for free and saying, hey, it's free, go. There's something to play, shut up. Rather give it the appreciation that it deserves, especially making a sequel. Because then when people go, Hellblade 2 is not doing too well, it's like, oh, well, you know, not a lot of people played the first one. Like, you know, it's kind of old. Well, that excuse could go out the window if you would have did like a remaster or a rethink, especially for the new consoles. But nah, forget about it. And now, this is. So, they're going to, I would say here, you know what? Why even go to game? Like, who cares? If you have nothing new to show, like, what are you going to Gamescom for what? For what?
Just to have a show, and
just to have a show that gets made fun of. That's just a waste of people's time, and I just don't understand. Like, first off, they announced in the announcement to Gamescom, they tell you no new reveals or major surprises. Now he could be lying, because I think one time he said something. There was some sort of surprise. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. He could be lying. Which, you know, I guess they could do that. But, I don't know. I just think that it's just weird. And again, they need to go back to the drawing board and basically just... And the thing is that them of all people should be using these opportunities to show gameplay. And it's focused on game updates games coming this year. So you know it's going to be heavily Forza focused, I'm sure. And maybe they show some Halo. But there's no Starfield. I don't think they're going to show Starfield or anything like that. But again, it's like you have title screens of games. Like, you need to show some gameplay. If Sony at least jumped in and showed some gameplay of Horizon and stuff like that, you have yet to show gameplay of really anything. Like, you should use these opportunities to start showing gameplay, but they don't. And that's what frustrates a lot of people. A lot of people get frustrated and going like, well, you talked about Avowed. What does it look like? What is it? I don't know. Yeah. What's the other game? Everwild. What's that? I don't know. You announced that in 2019 at XO in London. I don't know. But I'd show you my new streaming Xbox stick. We have the streaming app on PC. We'll demo that right now. It's like, you need to show some games, dude. Oh, no, they're coming. Meanwhile, Sony is just quiet. And I call them silent but deadly because they could just flip a switch and show something and just kind of rock it. You know what I mean? Like, they could just be like, boom, mindshare, boom, got it. And that's why Sony being quiet, I think it's even, and I said this the last time, like, the fact that this stuff is getting pushed, like, and not a lot of stuff, like, Sony is not, like, dropping everything now. Instead of, even if Horizon gets delayed, if that falls into the same realm of when Xbox starts dropping some games, that's not going to be great, especially if their games don't hold up to that quality standard. And if there's a definitive difference, a distinctive difference between an Xbox first-party game and a Sony first-party game, and you see them side by side, that's not going to be good. Like, Microsoft would have been beneficial if Sony started kind of front-loaded this generation and dropped a whole bunch of games, and then now Sony goes back to building some games, and then Microsoft starts dropping their games. That would have been good. But the fact that Sony seems to be, like, pushing their stuff out, it could kind of fall in a line with when Xbox has to show their stuff. But I just think, like, you showed games, you showed title screens last year. This year, you showed no progress to those games that you announced last year. You didn't even acknowledge Avowed or anything like that. And now you're announcing you're going to Gamescom, and it's like, yeah, we have nothing to show, really. Like, no major surprises, no new reveals, so set expectations. It's a fun stream. I don't know. I'm not streaming it. I don't think so.
I have no interest in watching this whatsoever.
Yeah, because it's going to be a cringe fest. It's going to be.
It's a game. It's going to be a Game Pass infomercial.
That's what it's going to be.
We're not going to see. I guarantee you, there's not going to be any Halo campaign footage there.
Oh, you really don't think Halo campaign is going to be there?
No. Let me tell you something. I'm going to stand on this, and maybe I'll be wrong. Hopefully, I am wrong.
I hope I'm wrong.
I don't think we're going to see any gameplay from that campaign until right before the game launches. Kind of like how they kind of hid the campaign with Gears. Same thing. They're just going to, that's what I think is going to happen. Maybe a few days before the game launches, we might get something. It says
here, though, like, this is where it's weird. His tweet is different than it says. It says here, you'll get in-depth updates from some of our previous announced Xbox Game Studios titles alongside some of our third-party partners, including some of the incredible titles coming to Xbox this holiday, upcoming releases to our monthly subscription service, Xbox Game Pass, and much more. So maybe they show something, like, maybe to Rare or something like that. I don't know. But the way he made it sounded like, yeah. But you know what? The thing is that I'm going to tell you right now, though, it is we missed the topic with the updates. I think that whole PlayStation update. I didn't get it yet, but the whole SSD and stuff like that.
I have it.
You got it? Shit, I didn't get it.
Yeah, I got it in the beta.
How the hell did you get it? You got an email that said you got it?
Yeah, I just got an email.
When did you get that email? Last week?
No, I got the email. When did I get this email? Let's see. I'll check it right now.
Frog said he had to go earlier, so sorry. Shout out to Frogs.
Yeah, shout out Frogs. I got the email on Thursday.
See,
this past Thursday. And the crazy thing about it was, like, I just signed up for the beta program probably beginning of last week. Just because I really wasn't gonna jump out there and buy a new SSD. But I said, well, shoot, I'll try the beta because there was some other features in the beta that I wanted to try. But now I'm really, really, really tempted to go ahead and upgrade my storage because it is getting to a point where I'm constantly shuffling games.
I heard, and it's nice too with that SSD.
That's what I was doing.
Faster, dude. It's like fast too.
When you heard my PlayStation, that's what I was doing. I was moving.
You're moving stuff over?
I was moving some games because I was like, man, I want to play some Avengers. right? But the Avengers is on my external hard drive.
Oh, damn.
Can't play it. Can't play it, so I had to move it, and it becomes kind of tedious to constantly be doing
Oh, it
that.
is. And the fact that you can't play it off of that drive, like, you know. But that's a thing that went wild, too. And we talked about it last week, about this hard drive and this PS update. But again, like, I do think that, I said before, like, having an open market SSD, basically, you're already seeing the prices drop. Like, I've seen people with 2 terabytes getting for like $300. That's too much, $360 or something like that. But that's too much for
dropping,
me.
yeah.
But the prices are dropping, and that's what you have when you have an open market. People just took these initial prices before these things were released and said, it's super expensive. Dude, it's just going to go lower and lower, and the fact is that you're getting an SSD. Yes, that proprietary drive, like, that thing's going to sit at 220, maybe go on sale at 190 or something like that, but that thing is a 1 terabyte, only made by Seagate, and that's it. And that, yes, you could plug it in and stuff like that, and it's a memory card, but again, it's proprietary, and it's only in that size and only at that price. There's no pressure for that thing to change because it is a monopoly, and especially when you have the booster, the Series S, that doesn't have any kind of, you know, it has a smaller internal hard drive, 500 gigabytes, and Xbox, and this is another thing, when people talk about words, I'll tell you about the Kraken. The Kraken's not lacking on the PS5.
Nope.
Kraken compression, that's a real deal because you're looking. Another thing that came up too was that the install size of Halo Infinite was released.
It's almost 100
97 gigabytes.
And there's no multiplayer in there.
That is insane. Meanwhile, you look at Ratchet and that game is like 23 gigs. Crazy. Like the size compression on the PlayStation 5, it's just so much better utilized. Whereas, you know, Xbox just has these like bloatware type things, typical of Windows, you know, of there's just like all this extra bullshit. And, you know, that's not good for Booster. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm really tempted to go ahead and get me a 2 terabyte because that's the size I'm interested in getting.
Oh yeah, I grabbed. So what I did was I grabbed the one that from who was it? ARS, was it ARS?
Yeah.
I got their 1 terabyte with the they confirmed on their Twitter. They're like, oh, we're PS5 ready, and it was 212 with the heatsink to 1 terabyte. So I ordered it just to have it when I get the update for this one. I'm not going to get from other PlayStation, but just to have it because I know that as soon as somebody says they're compatible PlayStation, people are buying them.
Right.
Or like they said this works, and people like the next one's now the Samsung 980 that everybody's like the Pro, it works, go get it, and you know, and that's like $200 without the heatsink. But these heatsinks are like $15, $5.
They're cheap, yeah,
dude. Like you get 212, you're in.
Yeah, and you really
32 gigs. That's a Ratchet PS5 is 32 gigs. It's crazy. So like,
but yeah. I'm interested in the 2 terabyte. Man, I think I'm gonna bite the bullet and go ahead and get one. You are looking at a situation where you're getting a SSD that's much faster.
Yes, you are getting like
storage
a 6,000 read speed or something like that, 5,000.
Right,
5,
you got storage. You got several different, very many different manufacturers.
And Reese says that you also get the full SSD on the PS5. I guess you don't get it all on because I think Microsoft installed some shit on their proprietary drive. That you don't give you the full 1 terabyte.
I think on the 1 terabyte external drive on the Xbox, you get 920 gigabytes.
Yeah. Let me see. So because they probably put some Philness on there, it costs some. they have to put some operating
I think it's
system.
the quick resume and some of that.
Oh yeah, quick resume and stuff like that.
So some of that storage probably has to be allocated for certain features. So you're getting your choice as far as storage size, speeds, manufacturers, heatsink, no heatsink. I mean, you need to have a heatsink on the SSD.
Oh, this is
you
a
put
thermal
it in there.
sticker and a metal copper.
Yeah, you need a heatsink because you want to prolong the life of the drive and you don't want thermal throttling. So you definitely need a heatsink, but you're getting options. You know what I mean? And that's more.
But there's
to me,
open market competition that drives that down.
Right.
That's the thing. And the fact is that you'll just get more and more, and I'm sure there'll be certified ones. And again, it's in beta. So like you will just know, oh yeah, somebody says proprietary drive gives you 920 gigabytes.
Yeah, that's what I said.
That's
yeah.
what Glub said, yeah.
903.
So yeah, it's so like the thing is that when you have, and that's why having an open market, even though you got to use screws, and I know the tools haven't arrived on Xbox, so I know that they get paranoid when they look at screwdrivers because the tools are they're still waiting for the tools. But people flip out over the screw, and versus a plug, and obviously that convenience factor is there, and you pay. That's what proprietary does. Ask Apple. What does proprietary do? It makes things easier for the end user, but there's a fee to that. So what's interesting is that we're okay with that extra cost and that overpricing of a thing, because we're gonna see these terabyte drives drop, but again, $10 upgrades for games people go bonkers about, which has extra content. Like I still get so perplexed at this stuff. Like again, I understand that they're going that I don't want to pay more money, and I won't if I don't find value in it. And if there's content and there's a reasonable thing to upgrade, then the money should be expected. We should not be like we got to get everything for free, because guess what? You're going to see why it's free. All right? Nothing in life is free, okay? There's a reason why it's free. Whether it's free to entice you to do something else. It's free to get you in the door so you pay more money on the back end. It's free to give you a sample so that you might be interested in something. It's free the first time. Second time you come back, it's not free. If people are providing a service, when something says it's free, there's a reason why it's free. Or nobody thinks it's worth something and it's for free. But you should not expect quality for free. Like, it doesn't kind of go that way. Like, if you're going to get quality something, there's most likely going to be a cost associated with it. Or somebody's taking a hit up front so you could get it for free, but they're expecting they're going to recoup that money on the back end when they increase subscription prices, when they give you other things. Like, there is a way, there's always a hook. So, be warned. And the other thing too is that some devs are doing it for free, and it's nice. Like but even look at the Final Fantasy, right? Final Fantasy, that was a free update, but guess what? It was a way to get you free so that you could go buy the Yuffie thing, because that Yuffie expansion was only in the PS5 version. So if you had people that weren't upgrading to PS5, you were cutting off your market right there. So it was a benefit for them to make that free, so that everybody has the PS5 version, so everybody is available now to buy the Yuffie expansion. See?
True.
If they would have said, hey, you got to pay $10 for this Final Fantasy update, you would have cut your install base by half, and only half of the people, or who knows, by more, and those other people wouldn't be able to buy the Yuffie expansion. So now, therefore, you lose your sales on Yuffie. There's a reason why they made it free. Fill tracing in Hellblade. That I wouldn't be using that as my DirectX example of ray tracing.
Mm-hmm.
Especially for the hit that it takes in frame rate. But it's free. Right? So anyway.
Sometimes
somebody says you go to work for a month and not get paid, and then not get paid. Exactly. So, the thing is that, and going back to the memory card stuff, being open market, the prices are going to come down. Most likely they're going to be cheaper, possibly, than the Xbox One, which I got mine cheaper than the Xbox One at like $212. That's $10 cheaper. But for 1 terabyte, and it's a faster drive than the one that they're offering in the Seagate one for the Xbox. But, open market, the potential, I bet you by holiday, you're going to be seeing these 1 terabytes probably 175, 150, who knows? Meanwhile, that Xbox One might be sitting there at 220.
The prices are already dropping.
Yeah, exactly. The price is dropping. We're in beta right now. This is not even official. And that beta, I can't wait. I want to see all the features of the beta. Can you, before we go out here, can you talk about any kind of cool things for the beta that you see in the software?
They have trophy tracking. That's pretty cool.
That's cool. What do you mean? It
That's a
shows you
cool
how
feature.
much you're to the trophy?
Yes.
Oh, that's
and you can
interesting.
mark certain ones if you want to track
Ooh,
individual
that's. I think the
trophies,
Xbox had something like
your
that. The trophy
progress.
track, like the achievement
Um,
tracking.
they added the 3D audio for the television
Oh, I
speakers.
heard that was. I saw
Um,
Marquise did that one. The average consumer. He said that it really made it like it really was cool with that coming
yeah,
out of the TV.
I tried it out. It does sound different, but I normally play with headphones, so that's really not a feature that's
Oh,
really going to
okay.
benefit me. I have not upgraded the storage on my console, so I haven't been able to test out the SSD. So you can now rearrange the buttons. So I'm pretty sure you couldn't do this before, but you can move the power button on the dock down there at the bottom.
Yeah.
You can move it. I don't think you could
Oh
do that
yes, the
before.
power button. You can move it
You
over
can
to the
rearrange,
left.
right? So you can rearrange the all the buttons. Not only can you remove different shortcuts, now you can rearrange them in different order. I want to say now you can view trophies
Yes,
horizontally
you
or
can do them
vertically. I
vertically.
can't remember.
Vertically is vertical.
Vertically instead of horizontally.
Nice.
I've been playing. I mean, the build is very stable. I haven't experienced. Oh, well, I think the other day when we were playing the beta for that Back for Blood, I couldn't get my in-game voice chat to work. I had to restart the game. I restart the console, but I don't know if that was because I was playing a beta or.
Yeah.
But the software is very stable. I haven't experienced any issues.
Can you try something for me? Do you, if you're in the top bar, right? Can you use the trigger to shortcut to the end, like to your collection? Like if you go to the store and then you hit the right trigger, does it like automatically take you to like all the way to the end, or you have to still have to
No.
hold it? Ah, shit.
You still got to scroll. Yeah.
See, that was something they added in the PS4, and it was something where if you're at the store and you want to go right to your collection, you just hit the bumper will take you to the media one. But if you hit the right trigger, it'll automatically take you to the end of the line, so you don't have to scroll through the games to get to your collection.
I didn't even know that.
PS4 did that, yeah. Like if you're all the way to the left and you want to get to the right of your screen, you just hit the trigger and it'll just shortcut you right there. I was hoping they'd do that, but anyway.
So far, I'm impressed with it. I mean, again, a lot of people are upgrading, are getting into the beta so they can put their new SSDs in there. So far, some of the changes I do like, and
oh, I'm sorry. Tiger King said your average consumer is Jed. Marquise Brownie's MKB. Okay, yeah, I think it was your average consumer. I think he did it. That's who it was. Sorry, I got his name wrong. But yeah, I follow them. Those guys, man. Both of them, actually, I follow them both. They're my tech guys. I follow them for all their stuff. But yeah, average consumer. That's who it was. Yeah, he did it. He did the update. And he did it.
Also, now when you go to your library of games, when you highlight a game, it tells you if it's PS5 or PS4,
yes. And it puts both of them next to each other.
And it's labeled in white.
Yes.
The icon is white for PS5 and black for PS4. So you can quickly visually be able to tell which version of the game you have installed. So that was a nice little feature.
Oh, the other thing, Saint.com says that I heard you can mess with the 3D audio settings, and Nick says, yeah, you could do the headphones. I think that they did was they added that app that was in the PS4 for like your platinums. They kind of now embedded some of that stuff where you could do like bass boost for the 3D audio. It's only for the Sony Pulses. If you have them connected, I don't know, you have the Sony Pulses?
No, I don't.
Right.
I'm still using the platinum.
If you do the Sony Pulse 3Ds, you could like add bass boost. You could add, and you could add different sound clips and stuff like that. But when I get the update, keep it locked here. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'll do a live thing of going through the dashboard and stuff when I get the update. Maybe I'll even do a live demo of me installing with my utility belt. And cleaning the whole area, covering up in plastic like Dexter, and putting in my SSD. Holy shit! Maybe I'll do that.
No, you can do that. I just turned on my platinum headphones, and there's quite a few different profiles that you can mess around with.
Oh, okay, cool. Is it an app or is it built into the dash?
No, it's just in the settings. You go to audio output, adjust 3D audio profile
with the platinums. Because they support 3D audio. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I guess
That's
you don't
awesome.
have to have the pulse. Yeah.
No, man, that's all.
Because I watched a bunch of videos, and there's not a huge difference, honestly, from because I have the platinum. There's not a huge difference in the pulse and the platinum to be like as far as the sound quality. They both support 3D audio.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a big deal.
I just thought the
the
platinums, for some reason, the platinums are hurting they would hurt my. See, I don't know. See, the pulse, I think, a little tight around the ears, but the platinums are hurt the top of my head with that rubber thing.
Really? They don't bother me. Now, I do wish they charged USB-C.
Yeah.
I don't like having to use
I
that
do
micro,
like that.
but-
Dreamwalker is funny. Dreamwalker says the same thing that frustrates him at the PS4 had it, where you could shortcut to the end by using the triggers. Yeah. I know. But yeah, it's cool. I'm looking for it. Doesn't I don't know. I'll check Black White Fist. I'll try with the SteelSeries. I have those as well. So I have the 7Ps. I heard it was more with the Sony ones. I think it was the Pulse 3Ds. Ryan says, "Don't do it. It's too dangerous. Think of the family." I don't know. I'll do it when the family's not here. I'll make sure that I'm in a bomb shelter when I do it, because you never know. I don't do that screwdriver. You never know. Like I might do it live. Who knows? But I'll try it and see the SteelSeries. I don't know. I think it's something that's built into the EQ settings and stuff like that of the Sony branded headphones. That's why they work on the PlayStation. But what's nice, see, the thing is that what I did like what they did, again, they changed the dashboard of the PS5, generations, right? Mm-hmm. They took a lot of things that may have been apps, like the Platinum app, like even the Spotify and stuff like that, and they integrated a lot of the stuff very effectively into the actual operating system. And one of the other things too was great. It was like how they did the streaming and all that stuff. Like they had elements of it. I liked what they did with the PS4, but with the PS5, they really, embedded a lot of these things into the dashboard. Like that thing, rather than going to all these different apps. And I'm really interested in see what they do with Discord, because remember, they did that comes early next year. Well, what they're going to do with Discord, and having that integrated in the PS5. So like I said, Sony, although silent and not boisterous and saying we're going to Gamescom or we're having a big show and stuff like that, like they got some stuff and they're making some waves, and they can easily just kind of, strike up an internet conversation and get people excited, because there's no lack of excitement for the PS5. Actually, there's probably too much that needs to be. These things need to be in stock so people could get them. But like the thing is that I am getting a little. I wish they were talking a little bit more though. Like I want to see a little bit more on like maybe I think that Horizon thing needs to be addressed. Like they said that they were going on vacation. I don't know if this is a side thing. I remember they said they were going on vacation for a week, and people were like, does that mean that Horizon's delayed and stuff like that? Like I really think that Sony does need some sort of little, basically, PlayStation Inside to kind of recap on what's going on with some of the games. But that's just me, because I want to talk more about what's coming to the PlayStation. I know there's some games coming, so we know that's coming. But it'd just be really interesting to they have been quiet. Like they really didn't do a big show. But again, they got a lot of stuff to look forward to. But they've been a little quiet. Even with this update too. Like this, they really haven't done a big push. Like I didn't get the beta thing, so it must be really like a real beta. It's hard to get into. Not this kind of like it's a beta, but let everybody play it and stream it. It's real. But I'll say I won't blow up my house if I do the hard drive. But anyway, my voice is going. But this has been an incredible show. We have over 111 people watching. My God, this is the biggest gaming grindhouse. I want to thank everybody for coming out. Thank you, Link. Thank you, Frogs. Guys, hit that like button. Maybe we'll get to 90 likes before we head out here. As we go, maybe we're over 90 likes. I don't even know. I never refreshed this thing. We're at 85. But yeah, if you can hit that like button before you head out, share it out. I will be doing timestamps on this. Hopefully get some timestamps out either tomorrow. I'll try to get some timestamps out so we go to the topics. We did bounce around a little bit, but there's a lot of craziness going on. But I want to thank everybody for an awesome show. And thank you, Link and Frogs, for jumping on and going through the Grindhouse. Again, we're trying to get the new subs. Thank you again, new subs. for joining the Grindhouse. Share it out. And we are wildin', baby. And I want to thank you again. Hopefully, I'll get some more stuff on here. And stay tuned for more gaming Grindhouses. Oh, man, 12 hours. They want more. Thank you, everybody. Dreamwalker, Josh, Impatient, Mooch, Salted Gaming, BitCloud. Thanks for stopping by. Nick, Extreme Gamer. Got some new people here checking them out. Returns was in here. He was fighting everybody. He was in there. Jason Ayers, what's up, man? Thank you. I keep saneyou.com. I think that's saneyou.com. What's up, man? Extreme Gamer. Thank you, everybody. And hit that like button before you head out, guys. We are almost at 90 likes. Thank you again. Came here for the e-begging. Here comes the e-begging. Who's begging? Who's begging? But thank you, Returns. Hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you again, everybody. Toolman, tools are out. Tools, go to an Xbox show. They need tools. Got to get over there. Thank you again, everybody. And we are out of here. Hit me with the sirens. Oh, and one last thing. Tomorrow, we find out about that abandoned stuff. And I'm going to say it like I said it before. If this thing really is just an indie game, feel bad for that guy, Hasim. If it's Kojima stuff, it's the best marketing. If it's not, I feel bad for it. But I'm interested to see what it is. Tomorrow, we'll find out August 10th. Stay tuned for Abandon. If it is anything but, maybe I'll do a Grinds My Gears on here. But thank you again, guys. Talk to you guys soon. We are out. Later.